I'm not.
A little bit. I mean, you didn't have much color to begin with. Like, let's be honest here.
That's winter's around the corner, Mike, and I'll be fucked if I'm going to be eaten by a polar bear. Got to keep my snow camo adequate.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. I'll give you the kudos there. You're doing a great job at the winter.
My farmer's pole is real bad, but
not real bad. That's not real bad. I've seen bad farmers.
Yeah. For my light pollution's real bad because my lights are so bright because they're all the like 150.
It's funny is like you and I, Devin, like we have the same skin tone basically. It's like we were talking about this when we were up doing the ballistic tests or the day after. I'm like, this is as tan as I will ever get.
Yep.
You know, like if I burn really bad red, it doesn't get darker. It just stays
white.
Right. It's like it's a little bit darker than in my upper arm, but it's not that much.
Not much darker. Yeah, fair. Same.
It's like I'm just a white devil for sure. A white devil.
No, it's called privilege, Mike. And it's showing.
I'm basking in my fucking white privilege here.
That's right. I feel like I should have a smoking jacket on and a riding crop and a plantation full of hired workers.
Speaking of which, I haven't beat the shit out of my dog in 5 minutes. Go lay down. Go lay down.
Well,
the weasel horse makes an appearance.
That's right, he does.
So, what's up with the helmet, Devin?
I just felt like wearing it.
Oh, nice.
So, just flexing because Mike doesn't have one.
It doesn't have a Brody.
No, I don't have a Mark II. Well, fuck you, Devin. Don't even get into that stupid shit. I don't have a Mark II. I have a Mark I.
Yep.
No, I don't. I actually don't have a Mark I. I have a 1917. I have the American version.
Oh, well, that's the same helmet minus that little gay plastic donut ring, which actually sucks anyways. So.
Right. They put the donut ring in the outer rim instead of like on the top. So it sits lower. Yeah, and whatever. But and they also put a texture on their helmet, and the Brits were like, "I think it might be a jolly good idea," in like late 1918. Yeah. And so it's like all the British helmets in World War I were like you have right now. They're just
smooth and shiny. That's why you see them. They'd cut burlap sandbags open and put them over their helmets to keep them from being so shiny.
Yeah, and then the Canadians actually had the mustard colored paint for a while, and it was like, well, that's better, but it's still like just put mud on it.
Yeah,
you know, just
exactly.
get mud on it. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, at least the Canadians caught on, but they made it like so yellow. And then they put
it was like really yellow
in it. It was really yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, go lay down. You overstayed your welcome.
What do you do? So you got to get a Mark II, Mike, but they're going to be hard to find in your size.
Yeah, 7.3. Well, because the 7 3/4.
Yeah.
Is not actually 7 3/4. It's like
it's big because you're meant to wear that your hat underneath it, your wool hat in the winter.
Right, but like what I'm saying is like the ones that I found, they've shrunk a bit. Mm-hmm. And so they'll fit me perfect, but like I don't wear a 7 3/4. I wear a 7. Well, between a 7.5 and 7.5/8, and the 7 3/4 liner actually fits me because it shrunk a little bit. So,
well, they're around. I actually saw I think a 7.
Oh yeah, and
7.5/8 not too long ago.
Well, yeah, the thing is like I actually lost a 7 3/4 by $5 at an auction, but it was to the price point where I'm like, yeah, with the buyer's premium and the shipping, it's
not really worth it.
No,
yeah,
there'll be another one.
They're getting pricey, but they're still around. So,
yeah,
Mike's got to get a helmet to wear. You got to have one so you don't stick out. You don't have one on display in your place or to wear.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, Devin, this is Michael. That's Michael. I'm Mike. Remember?
Yeah.
No, we have A and B, 1 and 2.
Right.
I do actually have a number of M1 helmets that I bought to be refurbished for Reveille. They're out in my barn right now.
But is that like your helmet? Which one's yours?
Oh shit! Like I have to have like the specific, like an actual.
Like where's your helmet? Like a helmet you have that's like I have this. It's mine.
Well, they all belong to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I don't have one to where like I don't know that. For a long time let me get this. I bought this years ago.
He's a noob.
Yeah, I'm not a weirdo collector like you guys. But
we'll have to hook you up. You just tell me what you want, and I'll track something down for you.
I got this years ago, and it's like it looks like a World War II era German like wool field cap. I don't know if it's like modeled after any specific thing, but and it doesn't have any insignia on it. It has
It's a
gold.
weird looking helmet. That's a weird looking helmet.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Well, I don't have any helmets in the room right here. I have to go out to my barn to get them.
I don't have any helmets in the room either.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Me
yeah.
either.
Those are all just painted on the wall back there.
Yeah, it's green screen. Like
elaborate wallpaper.
Right, green screen.
So,
But no helmets in here. But I could, I have some in the barn I could run out and get. But
No.
well, you got to keep one for yourself from the movie to be like, this is from a movie I made. It's also mine.
Right. Well, like we're probably going to get a number of liners and such, and probably also the shells from at the front for the movie.
Yeah.
And so like on lend, but these ones that I have in the barn, I actually did buy them. They are mine, but they need to be heavily refurbished. They are in.
Yeah, he's got like he showed me this one night, and like, so Devin, remember the pile of front seams that I showed you that were like, hunter green and like glossy.
Yeah, all repainted.
Oh, I got the hiccups. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Drink some of your tobacco juice.
Yeah, grab the spit cup.
Definitely not. Have done that. That's not fun. It's not fun at all. Oh, that was instant puke. That was. But anyway, yeah. So now that we're here in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, you sent me that the other day. I had a nerdgasm.
Yep, it's a bit cool. A little bit cool. It's a fun little project. Cool. But yeah, it's yeah. Devin and I, like, that's how he found me rather. Is like I made a bunch of helmet videos that like nobody watched, and he's like, I love helmets.
Yeah, I was like, I also have an obscene amount of helmets.
Oh yeah, it's retarded. Like the amount of stuff that we like, the helmets that we have. It's just like, good. Why would you ever need? We don't need them. We want them.
Well, I say it's because it keeps my face pretty.
Yeah. Well, that a lot of them. That's very true. For you need a lot of extra help.
I do.
Shitty caterpillar.
Well, I gotta grow this mustache to hide it.
Fucking thing. Yeah, it's like, oh god, it's so
slowly
disgusting.
taking over my face too. It's just getting bigger.
Every time I see that thing growing, I just want to puke. I mean, it's so disgusting.
Oh gosh.
And then Michael, he can grow a mean stash, but he just doesn't. He's not a douche.
So the stash is the facial hair of the historian, Mike. Come on.
You know, I have a picture of me from not too long ago where I did grow a mustache.
See the historian's facial hair.
It's I don't know. It was to quote Mike B. It's not good.
It's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not good. Yeah.
That's why I don't have it anymore. It doesn't quite look good on me, but it is possible. It can be done.
See, I want to see this now.
Yeah, for me, it's not possible. It cannot be done. It has not been done, and it will not be done.
I mean, you should just try it, Mike. It's the facial hair of the historian.
Could you do the neck beard?
No, because none of my facial hair grows past about 1/8 of an inch.
Oh, okay.
So it never does. It gets to that like itchy point, and then it just doesn't go any further.
It stays itchy and terrible. If I had to deal with that, I would shave all the time too.
That's why I'm always clean shaven. Like on the videos where you see like I got some scruff, like, oh, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow. It's like, no, it's a 3-week shadow. You know, like, let's be honest here. And it's fucked. But like, yeah, and that's why, I posted that picture of me wearing the French uniform, and people were like, yeah, all you gotta do now is grow a big curly mustache. You'll be looking. I'm like, I can't do it. It's not gonna happen.
Missing out.
Yeah, it's fucked. And there's some people that I knew in my life that they had to shave twice a day in the military.
That's about where I was, because if you shaved in the morning, by the afternoon, I would be like sandpaper.
They're like, why did you shave today? I did.
Yeah.
Shave again.
I was like, okay. You watched me literally shave. So yeah. So.
Well, I gotta go kill one of the cats really quick.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna hear a shot in the background.
As long as it's not Remington, that fat tub of shit.
No, it's Wally.
Gravity, it'll throw your shot off.
Right. Well, Wally's being an asshole, so.
Oh, well, that's normal.
Yeah, Wally's a piece of shit. He's the old, arrogant, mean,
crotchety old man.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking Golden's throwing cash already. That's good.
Right. That's what he's here for.
So I'm trying to, here we go. 1 second.
How do I internet?
Don't treat me like an old person. I went
We're
down to
all boomers in spirit here. Come on.
my
man.
my grandparents were like, "You need to come help us with the TV." I'm like, "What's wrong with it?" Like, it won't turn on. I walked up, I turned it on. They said, "What did you do?" I said, "I pressed the on button."
I pressed the power button. Yeah.
It was kind of embarrassing, but
That's fun.
I hope to be that old and like helpless someday. I really do.
just
So-
depend on others.
Well, you're already that helpless, but just
I am.
old
I'm
that-
not very technologically capable at all. That's it.
I've got my computer from 2011 and it's working.
I do.
just
It's from
fine.
2011. It needs to be replaced.
Right.
I should go do that while I have lots of money sitting around.
Oh Jesus, that's not good. That's
You just saw the photo.
oh God.
I just sent Mike. I sent you too, also Devin. Yeah, me.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh, that's fucked up. Like that's
It needs a little trimming, but it
Yeah.
would look good if you like maintained it.
Maybe.
It would
Yeah.
be good.
well,
I
apparently
know.
the man can sling money too. Hey, let's get a competition going up in this bitch right now. Who can sling the most catch? Hey, guess what? By the way, I do have jalapenos, serranos, and cayennes ripe for the picking in the garden.
Fucking A.
Yeah, I know, Devin. Yeah, you're so disappointed because you can't eat them and throw up with me. Like, let's, let's. Did you hear about that, Michael?
Yeah, I did. What do you guys? You can't eat spicy things or something?
We were out all
We
day
were out
doing a
filming
ballistic
all
test.
day in the heat, having no
food.
water. Yeah.
No food, very little water, and we came back and then we did that. We both ate a Serrano pepper right off the fucking plant,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like hot, and then all of a sudden we swallowed it, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh no,
And instant death.
it's death. All right, Golden, you sling some cash, name the pepper, and I'll see if I agree with you, and we can negotiate.
We can-
And anybody else, you're welcome to do that too.
Let
Yeah,
the pain begin.
The pain will begin. I'm gonna eat a lot of potato chips before I do it this time.
That's fair. Definitely punish some porcelain later, that's for sure. Bam.
No, it doesn't happen anymore. It just I shit a little bit more hot, but it's not bad. It's not like
That's what I mean. Your toilet
it's like the
can handle
white
so much
knuckle
napalm.
fucking. Your options are lowest grade jalapeno raw off the vine. I'll go pick it right now. Your second grade is Serrano, which is pretty hot. They're not red yet. Also on the vine. Your highest grade is cayenne, which I've never done raw.
Cayennes are hot.
Fucking hot. So
Cayennes are real fucking hot.
yep.
So,
So those are your options.
Why don't you just chase it with a bottle of Tums or something?
Because you don't want to reduce your stomach acid, you want to keep it increased so it digests all that
you
stuff.
want to dilute that shit as much as possible.
Yeah, Tums and Rolaids and all that stuff. Yeah, that's a
It makes
scam.
it worse for you. You want to eat lots of fat and dairy.
Yeah,
Huh.
dairy is good. I'm gonna probably drink some kefir afterwards. to
That'll
help
be
digest.
really good for that. Yeah. Got to
Yeah.
get some lactase in you. That's what breaks down capsaicin.
Yep. Well, actually, alcohol breaks down capsaicin because capsaicin is an oil.
Well, to be fair, alcohol breaks down anything. So
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you go drink all the E85 you can then and tell me you'll be okay.
That's got gasoline mixed in with it, you fucking clown.
Oh, gasoline? That's alcohol. It's just methyl alcohol rather than ethyl
What?
alcohol. Yeah.
Gasoline is not methyl alcohol. It's fucking petroleum. It's
Yeah.
totally different than fucking methyl alcohol.
E85
What the
is made from
fuck?
corn and it is methyl alcohol. E85 is biofuel.
No, it's from the corn. It's ethyl alcohol. Like Jesus Christ.
That
Maybe this is like a regional thing, you know.
Ethanol? Ethanol? It's not called methanol. It's called ethanol, right? It's ethyl alcohol.
yes.
Okay, so you just fucking proved to me that you're
But
wrong.
the ethyl alcohol is
But-
the drinkable kind.
And it's also the very flammable, good burn kind that methyl is what you get at the beginning of distillation.
Yeah, the first 4%.
Right. They don't use that for gas. They use that for other shit. They use it for fucking denatured alcohol. What the hell else? Some hand sanitizers. But yeah, it's like it. They use ethyl alcohol. They use ethanol. You can drink the shit before they mix it with the gasoline. That's what E85 is. E stands for ethanol.
Yeah.
If it was methyl alcohol, it would be M85.
No, it'd be ME85. But
oh, for fuck's sake!
I got no dog in this fight.
But no, E85 actually does have the methanol in it too. So.
Right, because they don't have to worry about the consumption. But it's like 4% of the fucking, it's 96% ethyl alcohol and 4% methyl. Yes. Okay, we'll compromise there. But
fucking hell.
And it's not as good for your fuel economy, but it is cheaper, so it kind of balances out.
It's also not good for your gaskets and everything in your fucking engine.
No, that's because the methyl alcohol actually eats away at all the rubber.
Ethyl alcohol? What the fuck?
No. The methanol in it actually eats away at the seals and the gaskets and shit. So
ethyl alcohol does not do any of that shit.
No, the methanol does though.
Oh.
But it's in there, so that's why your engine gets eaten away if you use it all the time.
Hey, Michael, have you pooped today?
Yeah, actually I did.
Good job.
I had to think about that for a second. I was like, yes, I did actually. It was
It's good. It's very
good. Yeah.
The John of all trades. Yes, Kefir is fucking awesome.
Fantastic.
It
What's
is.
your favorite one, Mike? Do you get regular or do you get one of the flavor ones?
Well, no, I get the flavor ones, but like my actual favorite, the Lifeway is what I usually go for the brand because like.
That's what I like. Lifeway
other
too.
brands
and
are
you can find it just about everywhere. So.
Yeah, Lifeway. If you can find the Madagascar vanilla.
That's my favorite one.
That is my. Yes. That is my goddamn like baseline. The plain is good. I can drink it and all that stuff. It's fine. But as far as flavored ones, the Madagascar vanilla is so good. Second favorite, cherry. Third favorite, pomegranate. Fourth favorite, it's between the blueberry and the raspberry. And the strawberry and all that shit, like I can drink it, it's fine, but like it's not something I, it's good. It's all good, but it's, yeah.
I'd have to say vanilla, mango, and then tropical fruit.
So you like mango flavored shit, and I don't.
I do. I'm drinking mango right now, actually.
Right, like mango and grapefruit flavored shit, I can't do it.
Mm.
I like mangoes and I like grapefruit. It's like a watermelon too. Like watermelon flavored shit
is bad compared to actual watermelon. Yeah.
Right.
You like watermelon?
No, watermelon's good. Watermelon flavored stuff is bad.
Like artificial flavors and shit.
Yeah. Well, even if they have, quote unquote natural flavor, it's like, no, watermelon to me is something. There's also, it's probably because of the texture and the experience of eating a watermelon. Same with a mango and all that stuff. And grapefruit too is like, I have a ritual with grapefruit that my grandma taught me, and it's like, if it's not there,
sacrifice a goat, and then you said a ritual. I was like, first you sacrifice a goat,
a sheep.
There you go. Yep.
Not a goat, a sheep.
And you wrap yourself up in its entrails, and then you eat your grapefruit.
We have to cut it in half first, but yes.
No, I thought you just bite into it like it's a.
No. Nope.
Yeah.
Grapefruit's fucking awesome. You cut it in half, you get the little grapefruit spoon with a little bit of serrations on it, and oh Jesus, Michael's like, no.
You don't like grapefruit, Mike? Come on now, it's good for you.
No. I was shaking my head at something else. Sorry.
Oh, I'm fucking sure.
So you do like grapefruit?
No, actually, no, I don't like grapefruit. But I do eat it because it is very good for you. So I have eaten it.
There you go. See. So how do you eat a grapefruit then?
I peel it like an orange, and then I separate it, and then I eat it with the pulp on. I don't.
Oh God!
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
That's how I eat one too. You just eat the pulp too. There's a lot of good stuff in the pulp.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I didn't say it wasn't terrible, but I also drink tons of coffee, and I hate the taste of coffee. But
I mean, coffee's fantastic. It does taste like terrible. It tastes like dirt water, but God, do I love it.
No, so here's the thing, Michael.
Yes.
When you go to the grocery store next, grab a couple grapefruit, okay?
Big bag of pamplemousses.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking next time again. I've told you this a million times, but you're racking up the fucking cock punches.
So
now I think we're up to 4 or 5.
I think we're at 6 actually.
6?
Yeah.
You've earned another cock punch.
Yeah, they keep the pamplemousses right next to the aubergine.
7. Don't push your fucking luck.
All right, so what were you gonna tell me?
My grandma always did this, like for breakfast and whatever. She'd make eggs, poached eggs over toast, which was so good. Bacon, and then a half a grapefruit. So you cut it in half. If you got the spines this way, cut it this way. So all the sections are kind of exposed. And then you take a spoon. You could use a regular spoon, but it's more difficult. But you get a little serrated grapefruit spoon. And you can put sugar on top of it if you so choose. I like sour stuff. And then you just go in on each section and you just kind of work it out. And you pull out the section with no pulp, no pith or anything on. And you're just eating the fruit. And it's so good. If you like sour stuff, you'll love it.
Well, okay. So I have to put it on a plate and eat it with a little spoon, like that is what you're saying?
Well, it's got to be a special spoon. They have a serrated spoon for cutting through all the pith and membranes in the grapefruit.
So here's the thing: is with a regular spoon, you can do it. I've done it, but with the
serrated spoon, damage a lot of the flesh.
Right, but it's easier with the serrated spoon. But you can do it with a regular spoon. Just take your time, and kind of carve each little half, segment out. It's a half of a wedge, right? You carve it out. When you do carve it out, it's just the flesh. It's the best part. There's no pith or anything else. It's just the fruit part. It is so fucking good. And you take that little bit, and again, you can put sugar on top of it for a little bit of the edge. But if you like sour stuff, just leave it plain. And then you eat that, and it's like okay. And then you go to the next little section. It's so good.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna keep eating it like Michael, like a psychopath. I'm just gonna open it. And eat it.
Well, you haven't enjoyed it then. Okay, how about this little French fucking cuisine piece of shit you are? Would the French fucking just say, yeah, bite into the whole grapefruit at a meal?
No, because they don't actually use grapefruit a lot.
Because there's fucking savages. That's why.
So,
they're not savages, but
one time I saw stock footage from World War II of German soldiers eating oranges. And the way they were eating oranges, they would eat it like an apple, like with the skin on and everything, and then just like right through.
All the vitamins and stuff are in the skin.
Yeah.
It's so bitter. It's so bitter. It's so bitter.
Well, as long as you get some of the like meat in there with you, it'll balance out a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I've seen that too, and that was just like a thing back in the day. People would just like.
Yeah,
they used to eat the skin on bananas and shit too. You know that, right?
Oh god!
Like they used to just like bite into it like a carrot and eat the skin. It's like,
well, I mean, dude, I watched The Whitest Kid You Know, and they smoked a banana peel one time, and the guy got really high. So again,
his head exploded.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't ever do that, please. Don't. But if you go watch the skit, if you go type in Whitest Kids You Know, banana peel, you'll see it, and it's a fun skit. If you don't know what The Whitest Kids You Know is, this is not going to make any. Michael, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, the show on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Devin, well, it wasn't on YouTube.
I actually will have. I have all the Blu-ray releases.
That's all I've seen it on was on YouTube.
Oh yeah, well that's so they put some of their. Oh god, we watched that shit. I got a DVD when we had a bus ride from here to Florida for the military, and he put that shit on, and that was the first time I had seen it, and I'm like. This is fucking hilarious.
This is pretty good, yeah.
It's so bad that it's good. It's
yeah. I saw the one where it was like the alien autopsy at Area 51, and they rip open the alien and it's full of Reese's Pieces or something.
Yeah, they're like dumping the arm out and candy.
Yeah. He's like the alien is full of tiny peanut butter candies, and the guy's like, "Well, they're Reese's." Like, don't say brand name.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Wally, relax.
He can't. He's old.
The dog, or that's the cat, right?
Can you hear him?
No, I can't hear anything.
I can a little bit. Right.
I heard that.
Wally Walls.
Oh yeah, the gallon of PCP. That's a good one. Well, I wanted the whole gallon, so I gave her my wife, and then I waited too long, and now she's dead, I guess, but at least I got half a gallon of PCP still.
God, the funniest one was we were. God, I don't remember where the hell we were on that trip, but like the DVDs were rolling, and we had a black bus driver, mind you, and the Hitler rap skit came on.
Oh yeah,
and it was like whatever, and then. We were just pulling into where we were getting at, and this guy looks around and goes, man, what the fuck are you guys watching back there? Like, you got to come see this. And so he parks the bus and he comes back. He goes, what the fuck is it? Like, just watch. And so he's watching it and he just starts laughing his ass off. And I'm like, yeah, this is. And then the guy that had the DVD is like, this is called The Whitest Kids You Know. It's fucking hilarious. He goes, man, I might have to buy me a copy of that shit. That's fucking great. And yeah, it was just funny because he just goes, man, what the fuck you guys listen? Or are you guys watching back? Because it was the first time that I had seen it too, and I'm just like, how the fuck is this? Like, this is okay?
And they actually aired that on TV. Not all their skits,
Right.
but like most of their skits were aired on TV.
Oh god, what a
not like
fucking...
late at night either. It was like mid-afternoon. You could like
It's
just
so
tune into
funny.
this on TV and hear a rap about Hitler, and they have another song about date rape. And
oh, did you see the skit about the grapist?
yeah, that one's one of their best ones.
I love it. He's the grapist.
Yeah, he like rapes the kids. Yeah,
he rapes kids. And you don't see any issue with this?
Yeah, and with every purchase you get a free grape whistle.
Yes.
I'm gonna tie you to the he busts through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. He's like, "Come here, kids! I'm gonna tie you to the radiator and grape you in the mouth."
Yep. Yeah, that was. God, that show was wretched, but it was so.
Yeah, it was. Oh
gosh. So Golden hasn't followed through. So I guess I don't have to eat any peppers tonight, which is good news.
That's great. Who needs money, right?
Devin, you're really rocking the hairline there. I mean, you really
Thank you.
You got
I just got it cut yesterday.
Nice. Yeah, it's I used to have it like that back for a while ago, but
the comb over is weird.
No, not a comb over. It's an undercut, man.
Yeah.
You can see I kind of have remnants of it right now. You know.
It's very nice when it's this hot and humid. I'll tell you that.
Shit. It's funny. That hairstyle has become kind of a thing that a lot of people associate World War II with, even though.
Yeah, I get told that this is the Hitler Youth haircut all the time, despite it exists way before that.
Right. Also, during World War II, like the military cut, you know what that is? Like it's not as nearly as dramatic as like that. Like I've never seen a photo of like a soldier with a hairline where it's just shaved, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always like blended. Like I saw some fucking trailer to a movie that was posted on that War Movies Facebook page. And,
that's the worst, man. That is the fucking worst.
Yeah. Well, I got shit yesterday, but yeah, there was some fucking dumb commando movie, you know, released or something. And yeah, like the main like American.
Holy shit! All right.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
Mike's got a chip napalm now.
I just saw that.
This is also going towards the movie, but like anyway.
Look at that.
All right, name your pepper, and we'll start negotiating. And then while I'm gone, you guys can talk about whatever the fuck you want.
Maruga scorpion. That's the one you can't even put in pepper spray.
Yeah, I don't have that growing up in my fucking.
I'll buy you
the highest pepper. The highest pepper. A fucking cayenne pepper.
Oh, that was a habanero.
They're not blooming yet.
Oh.
That plant's not doing well. Honest to God, like I'll take pictures if you need proof, but like I would tell you if it was, and I would not do a habanero for 200. I'll tell you that much.
No, that would definitely hurt.
Yep. All right. So
habaneros are like the borderline where it literally just becomes pain after that.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna pick a cayenne. None of them are ripe yet. They're not red yet, but I'll pick a cayenne, and I'll eat it with the seeds and all that shit. Fresh out. Yep. Hey. But I'm going to prepare this time.
You're going to eat a whole sleeve of saltine.
Not going to do it on an empty stomach. Nope. I'll have kefir. I'm going to drink some kefir before I do it.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to have it on standby. I'll go through it as long as possible.
It's going to be good. Right? It's going to be good.
It probably won't be as bad as it was before because I'm not as sick as I was before. But I also haven't eaten as hot of a pepper as this
in a long time.
So, all right. I'll be back.
All right. Well, Golden definitely called your bluff, Mike.
This will be interesting. So what I was saying was that, it was some shitty movie, and the American guy, his hair was like that, except the hair on top like went like back.
Slipped back? Oh,
yeah,
like the Fury haircut that Brad Pitt had?
Yeah, but it was worse than that. It was like
Worse than that?
it was like shaved completely on the side, like completely shaved, no fade at all. And it was just went and it like drooped back. He had like kind of wavy hair, and it like drooped back past his like the back of his head. And I'm like, no one in the military would have that. That's fucking ridiculous.
Fair,
and everyone was like, oh, everyone had that undercut back then. It's like, no, they fucking didn't.
No, they didn't. They didn't have it that intense because, for one, you didn't want to wear your helmet. But like, I understand why they did it, and you know why they did it? It's because you get ventilation, and then you have padding on the top of your head.
Of course, yeah. So that's
it's very practical. A lot of people don't know that.
There's reasons
ventilation and the padding.
Yeah, so there's reasons for it, but fucking hell, no, it's just a fashion thing now. Well, like in Fury, Brad Pitt with that fucking hair. I mean, the star of the movie is his fucking head, and you know, it's like, okay, that's more of the style of a German military haircut, not a U.S. one. Like, it didn't make any
maybe he was, you know, undercover idolizing them, you know, like respecting the enemy. You gotta like know and respect your enemy.
Yeah. The movie Allied was a prequel to Fury, so I guess. Do you know about that one?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The other World War II shit film Brad Pitt did.
I mean, I really like Brad Pitt's performance in Inglourious Bastards. That was a pretty good one.
I don't know. I'm not really a Tarantino fan, so I'm like, whatever. When it comes
it's a horrific war movie, but God, it's funny.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know.
I knew the guy with the 500 shot MP40 magazine. The Germans probably would have won if they would have had that.
Yeah. Today I was. Oh, here's Mike.
He's got his chips. Oh, he's got it. Look at that.
It's starting to turn red. Yeah, Wally, what do you want? Hold on, let me take care of the fucking.
He's gonna eat one of the peppers.
He's gonna eat it.
Wally, go lay down or do something. Something fucking annoying.
He wants to be mad at the world, Mike.
All right, well, fine. I'm gonna let the dog out. He can go fuck with you. All right.
And so, Cody drops off, totally okay with that scenario.
Yep. And so I've got Kefir here, the pomegranate, which is good shit. I've also got the best goddamn potato chips in the world, Old Dutch.
Yeah, but where's the all-dressed ones?
We're in the United States. We're not in fucking.
They sell them here now.
Socialist fucking Old Dutch, all dressed. No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. I could go up to my Walmart and buy it.
Okay, good for you. You're in a fucking city. I'm not. How about that?
Fair.
Anyway,
well, Walmart's in the next city over, but.
So I'm gonna go as long as I can without any of that stuff, and I'll let you know. I've also got some La Croix here, which. This does not make it better, but I might just need this to like make my mouth, you know, a little bit less shitty. Also, this is La Croix, the limoncello. Yeah, good job.
When I worked at the grocery store, we called that LaCroix.
LaCroix, yeah.
Well, nobody speaks French anywhere else, so
we have the St. Croix River next to me, and we call it St. Croix River, but it's like Saint Croix. But anyway, so. This is a cayenne pepper. Okay, just about to start turning. You can see
it's kind of yellow.
Maybe it's about, you can see it's starting to turn. That's the ripest one I could find. It's smaller, but it's still ripening. I'm just gonna chomp the whole fucking thing and see how this goes.
And touch your eyes.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna bite. Actually, no, this is fine. Like, I'm going to bite, and then we'll see how it goes. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
I feel your pain.
Vomit's going to fly on the camera lens.
It's not going to... No, I'm not going to puke.
No.
If I puke, the bathroom's right there. It's fine.
It's going to be really red, though.
Yep. All right.
Somebody's got to screen capture Mike's face when he's at his reddest and turn him into the tomato from VeggieTales.
All right.
Christ, I haven't thought about VeggieTales in forever.
Fuck VeggieTales. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Crunchy.
Nice crunch there.
Well, it tastes really good. Already the heat.
Oh boy.
I kind of see a little red complexion, but maybe that's just my mind wanting
He'll
to.
get there. It's gonna be like a minute or two, though. This is one of the ones where like it doesn't even fully.
I'm just gonna switch the seeds around. I'm not doing it for the heat yet.
This is one of the ones where like a lot of peppers that are up there on the scale don't even get to their full hottest until like 6 or 7 minutes after you eat them.
Oh, here we go.
There's a build up to it, and then
there's still seeds and shit in my mouth, but it's not bad. It tastes really good. It's okay. It's so far it's okay. Yeah, it's not bad. It's hot, but it's not like
the burps get bad once you get the fire burps. That's when it hurts.
Woo! Yeah, that's a hot pepper. But again, the flavor the cayenne is so good. Oh man. It's not as bad. It's getting worse, but it's not as bad and like rapid as I thought it was going to be.
Was that you or was that the cat making that noise?
That's the cat.
Was making that noise, crying in pain.
Yep. You go through this with me.
Oh, hello.
Oh, it's Wally.
Hello.
Wait, that's not Wally.
No, it's Wally.
It is Wally. Oh.
Look how fucking huge this cat is.
That's fair. Wally's big.
Oh, hello. I love cats.
Okay, I think it peaked. It's really hot.
Plateau?
Yeah, it's really hot, but it's not like habanero hot, but it's really fucking hot. But it just tastes like the pepper flavors.
Mike's just death gripping Wally off camera.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
He's fucking fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah.
Okay, YouTube people that are analyzing, I'm not choking him. If I was choking him, he'd be reacting a lot different.
Yeah.
Wally's fine. Wally likes his attention.
Wally, yeah, he loves it. Attention. Yeah, this is hot. But it's holy fuck. I got a paper towel really quick.
Touch your eyes.
Nope. It doesn't matter. I didn't touch the inside.
That's fair, yeah.
I didn't touch the inside of the pepper. No, I see why they make a lot of. No, it's fine. Like I'm okay. I'm not like dying, but like I see why they make a lot of hot sauces out of it because the flavor is really good. Like a lot of hot, like habanero is the pepper that I would go up to the top of like the pain versus flavor scale. And habaneros have such a good flavor that it kind of mitigates, especially when it's like diluted in stuff like a sauce or a whatever. No, we're good. We're good. It's
yeah.
It's just it's hot. We're good. I mean, we're good. Like it's.
You coming off it?
Now you can just drink all your kefir for fun.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna let this, yeah, I know it is. I'll drink it later, but I'm just gonna let it burn. I'm gonna let it burn for a bit.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I can tolerate more. Like my body's not fucking. My pulse isn't increased. Yeah, my pulse is fine. It's fucking hot.
Well, how do you feel being $200 poorer because you're giving it to Mike who didn't even eat it?
Oh yeah. I feel great about that.
How does it feel being $200 richer, Mike, at somebody else's expense?
Okay, yeah, I'm coming down. I don't feel this is fair, so I might actually go out because I don't think that was worth $200 because like it was hot as fuck, but my reaction was good. I'll go out and pick a Serrano.
Oh.
if you guys want to, still donate, everything's going to, Michael down here. But like, yeah, so the cayenne was really fucking hot, but I'm able to handle it a little bit better now. No kefir yet, no water, and I won't do it off screen. It's gonna stay here. I'm gonna go pick a Serrano, and I'll do it because I don't think that was worth $200. Burps are coming. Ooh, that was hot.
Yep, I told you, them spicy burps. Those are the worst part. The spicy burps.
I burped up a seed. That was.
Ooh.
I just gotta get that down. Water does not help, so don't think I'm doing that for that.
No.
I just had to get that seed down. That's not good. So I'll go pick a Serrano pepper because I'm coming down from it now. Okay, that was hot as fuck, but it was also really good.
Yeah.
And then if you guys want to donate more money, all the money that I'm doing or I'm going to be getting for this stream is going towards Michael and the film that we're working on. Which we're just doing a casual stream tonight, but like you guys know, you guys have been here.
Oh yeah, the movie is.
It's going to a good cause. It's going to a good cause. But like, this is really fucking hot still, but it's all good. But it was no, dude. I'm serious. Like, I've never had a cayenne pepper, like an actual cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
The flavor is so good. Like, it was really good. If you took all the seeds out and like put it in something,
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right, I'll go grab a Serrano really quick.
All right. He should just instead he just start eating those just like French fries or something, and see how that does.
I don't know if he could handle that.
That's what I'm saying. He was like, "It's good, it's fine." I'm like, "Just start eating a bunch of them, dude. Like, if you want a real reaction."
Like, I like eating spicy food and stuff like that too, but it's got to be like, you got to have some recovery time in there if you're having just that much heat.
Yeah, dude. Here's 1 second.
Oh, this is a good question for Mike. Mike, what's the, since you're like me and Mike, what's the worst helmet design ever?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. As a nerd about helmets and stuff like me and Mike, you should know.
Well, I mean, I'm a novice compared to you guys, but
I have the guaranteed answer for this.
Okay. I don't know. Those fucking post-war German helmets that are kind of. I remember I have one of those things actually way out in my barn, and the ones that it's like a stall helm, but it's like it goes like this. It doesn't go like down and sideways. It comes down like a dome. It's like I think they're East German or something. They're
actually like super good helmets.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
It's not the Brody. I'm going to say it's that. Yeah, the paper mache Darth Vader helmet the Iraqis used.
I don't even know what this is.
So they're made out of Corlon. And what Corlon is they would dip canvas, like burlap, in resin, and then they would like paper mache this helmet together. And they were known for disintegrating by not even being used.
Jesus Christ. Wait a second. I'm going to send you a picture of one. If this is what you're talking about, this might be what I have. 1 second.
Let's do it. I was asking Mike to name. Some guy asked what the worst military helmet ever used was.
Because I have one of these helmet. In my. Okay, sorry. Something
Swiss
else.
Helmet. That's a World War II Swiss helmet. Okay,
you're talking about something else then.
We're talking about the Iraqi Darth Vader helmet as the worst helmet ever designed.
Yeah, it's. I mean, designed. It's fun. It looks.
You should look it up, Mike, if you want to see what the Iraqi Darth Vader helmet looks like.
I know what I knew. I probably knew about that before you did.
No, I'm talking to the other Mike.
Yeah, Michael. He's talking to Michael.
Michael, yeah.
Is that modeled after Darth Vader's helmet?
Yeah, literally from the movie. They literally they're like, it looks scary. Give it to the Republican Guard.
No, not the Republican Guard. The Fedayeen.
The Fedayeen, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it even has the stripe up the center.
Yeah, it's made out of Corlon, which is burlap dipped in plastic.
Oh.
Yeah, it's basically paper mache.
If I hit that with a baseball bat, it would cave in.
Yep,
pretty much.
Crack. Yep.
The Iraqis were really big on the Corlan helmets. They used them since like the mid '80s up until like 2006.
You know, George Lucas, he doesn't like to take credit as changing the world with a lot of things, but he has changed the world when it comes to a lot of things, and this is something to be proud of right here.
That's right. The Fedayeen Darth Vader helmet. Oh gosh.
God, do they still use this, or is this like a 19?
No, they got a whole bunch of like aid helmets from a bunch of European countries in America in the 2000s. So they got real helmets, but like they used a lot of M1 helmets too, like based off the M1, but it was made out of the same Corlan material, which is burlap dipped in plastic.
Darth Vader aside, I'm getting a lot of like 1980s vibes looking at this thing.
Yeah, Mike's got one. He's got what? You have an M90, right?
I have an M80, an M90, and a 2003.
Yeah, the 03. I only have the 03.
Oh,
so
I don't know. Yeah, I've got the M80 is sitting right here. It's unissued. It's actually fiberglass because it was made in South Korea.
Yeah, one of the actual South Korean ones.
Yep, and it's not painted or anything. Brand new. And then the M90 is sitting over there with the nasty rubber rim on it.
The big surgical tubing rim, because if you bumped it on the rim, it would flake apart.
So
it's good stuff. Maybe that's what Mike wants to, Michael wants for his collectible helmet, is he wants a cool Iraqi plastic.
Dude, I could go to some comic book store and get a Darth Vader helmet that's probably more durable than that fucking thing.
Yeah, like one of the plastic Halloween costume Darth Vader helmets is more durable than those things.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so I just want to get this done. Can I just do this and then we can move on?
Yes.
All right, so I have a Serrano pepper here. This will look familiar. It's not red either. None of my peppers are ripe yet, but this is still going to be... This is hotter than a jalapeno, a little bit less hot than a cayenne, but we'll see because it's more fleshy.
Jalapeno.
Yeah, jalapeno. That's what I said.
I want some of them jalapeno chips. Ricky, jalapeno.
That's what I said. All right, so Serrano pepper. The full thing. You see it here.
Golden definitely got his money's worth out of this.
Not as much a crunch on that one.
No, this
more
one was
fleshy.
flaccid.
A little flaccid pep.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Eat the pepper, eat the pepper, eat the pepper.
Michael, you're gonna have to come out and visit, and Mike's gonna have to be like, "Oh yeah, eat one of these."
Dude, just talking about this reminded me of when I was in high school and at a pep assembly, these fucking morons, did this thing where it was a Tabasco sauce eating contest, and they had to go to the hospital.
Ish.
Why?
Isn't that spicy at all?
Yeah, they were drinking shots of it, and then they were they started throwing up and everything, and they looked like they were about to die.
It's got a lot of vinegar and salt in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, it was what happened to them. Clearly, they didn't have a good reaction to it.
That's got to be the wild card for one of the military movies we review. We all got to eat a spicy pepper and try to watch the movie and review it and just be like wheezing and dying.
Honest to God, this Serrano,
not as bad.
I'm waiting for it, but it's not happening.
Got off too easy. Golden
honestly, the Serrano didn't taste as good as the cayenne. I'll tell you that much. The Serrano's a lot more strong and kind of bitter.
Yeah, it's got the more vegetal chlorophyll-y taste.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Nothing.
That's adorable. Cody's trying to smash his face into the door with his thing.
His little turtle.
The turtle.
Now you just got to get him a real turtle to see if he does the same thing with it.
No, he'll be scared of it. He'll run away and bark.
Oh, come on now. It's a turtle. Yeah.
Turtle will probably bite him.
Yeah, Devin's heard him bark. It's not really a bark. It's more of it's not really a howl either. It's like a...
He just opens his mouth and lets all of the air in his lungs out. Yeah.
Right.
I saw the video of when he found your neighbor's heavy bag just laying in his yard.
Yes.
And he's just like behind the bush at this bag on the ground. He didn't even make that much noise when he ran into that fence. And jacked his leg open.
Oh well, no, he yelped, like he was hurt.
Yeah.
I thought he got nailed, like I got zapped, and I was like, whatever, we all got zapped, whatever. And then the next morning I look at him and he's licking his leg, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? There's a flap of skin hanging down. I could see his muscles in his leg, and I'm like, oh!
Well, he walked into that freaking barbed wire fence or whatever.
He walked into it, and then he was just kind of sniffing around, and then when he got zapped, he pulled away, and it was
he reacted and cut himself. Yeah.
So,
poor dude.
And the Koba, I gotta make a video like shouting out some of the really like the channels that were supportive of me back in the day in like 2012.
Way early.
Yeah, the Koba was one of them that like we did some cool collaborative shit back then that like nobody saw. And also the Koba, I ate the fucking pepper. I ate 2 of them. I ate a fucking raw cayenne and a raw Serrano, and my tolerance has greatly improved.
He doesn't think that he got his money's worth, so he ate 2.
Right, and so, well, I think I could do a habanero now. Like I haven't never done it in a while. I think I could do that because that would actually probably hurt bad.
If they ever like come in, actually, if that plant makes
it's growing, but there's no buds or anything like that.
Weird. I know they're kind of late bloomers, but
yeah, and the fruit's not that big, so I can
But this is still like really late in the season if it hasn't bloomed yet. Like,
right, we'll see. But
you got to do something cool like the Kobe doing, where he's making that shuffleboard table. You got to do some totally not surplus related project.
Well, Kobe's a fucking boomer that's got all the time in the world to do shit like that.
But I mean, it's a shuffleboard table.
I don't know how I could get any more like obvious about what I just said. He's a boomer making a shuffleboard table.
Oh gosh, I mean that is something a boomer would like to do. They like shuffleboard.
I don't think I've ever played shuffleboard.
Oh, that's an enticing. Well, hold on. So this piece of shit that I know in the comments, David Wagner Woodworks. He supposed works, Werks like a German word, even though this thing, this guy's like, he's like one of the lowest forms of life on earth to ever drawn.
Oh, he's from Wisconsin? Darn shame.
No, he's from Minnesota. That's even worse.
Oh, and he chose to move to Wisconsin? That is even worse. Yeah.
Then he's like, I have nothing left in my life. I'm going to go to another place that has nothing.
I'm going to move to the Alabama of the North.
Right. And he did. And Dave's just like one of those guys that you're like, God, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? And he likes to shoot guns, so we go do that once in a while. And he just said, which is going to shorten the stream a bit. I feel like firing off a few rounds, which I wish I could show everybody what I'm going to be firing.
Mike, your freaking super nice shotgun or his Saiga?
My what shotgun?
Your super nice one that you got. What is it? Your Benelli?
Mine chambers everything. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
So he'll have rounds that don't chamber in that Saiga that will chamber in the Benelli and fire just fine. And so, it is like you get what you pay for because there's a lot, Well,
the Benellis are goddamn fucking expensive, but I've never heard any problems with them either. So.
Dude, I have 2. I have a Supernova Tactical and an M4, and I have never had a fucking problem with either one of them. Any ammo, anytime, anywhere.
So you're saying the Benelli's better than the Saiga, the AK 12 gauge?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. For every if you just have what you pick up as ammo, yes. If you know what ammo to use and you've got a shitload of that, the Saiga is a lot better because it's magazine fed. It shoots fast. It's easy to control, just like the Benelli. But no, for like, end of the world things, I'm going to take the Benelli over the Saiga.
Fair. That's right. Can't beat $200 though.
No, he got it for a good deal. And like, no, that's fine. And it works, but like we actually discussed this, and like he's not going to get pissed off because we already talked. We had the same conversation. It's like yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. Like mine, I spent an exuberant amount. I spent the retail price. I put $1,800 into that, plus $400 for the stock and everything, like the skeleton stock. And so like $2,400 into that thing. But I don't have a lot of shotguns. Like I wanted a shotgun that's like.
You wanted one shotgun that could do anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got it. And Dave, his Saga works great with factory loads, like he's saying in the comments. It works. I mean, flawless. It's just bam, 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 bam. Change the mag, good to go. But we got he got a box of reloads a while back that were just unknown reloads, and we're just kind of putting them through, and a lot of them wouldn't even chamber in the Saga. And then he's like, "Well, does it work in the Benelli?" And so I put it in there, right in, dropped it, fired it, works great. And so that's, I guess, the little bit difference. Like if you get some ammo that's not perfect,
fair,
the more expensive shotgun's gonna
handle it,
cycle that shit. And yeah, so, but that's really the difference. Like as far as shooting and being really fast, yeah, I'm gonna take the Saga if I've got like ammo that I know is gonna work in there. But Michael, this is why you have to get into guns, because you can jump in and
get some guns so you could talk about guns with us.
Dude, I have guns. I don't have those guns that you're talking about, but I have guns.
All right, as long as we can all agree that the best shotgun ever made is the Ishapur 410, then we're all set.
I have a Remington. That's
it's probably better than the Ishapur 410.
So. Okay, I don't know what that is.
Well, it's probably 870.
Yeah,
so.
Remington 870s are good shit.
As long as they're one of the old ones, the newer ones are kind of.
I have that. I have a bunch of things from my grandpa that I gotta look through it, and M1 Garand, of course, AR-15.
Of course.
Version, nickel-plated 1911.
Oh, you fud.
And let's see here. What's it called? It's not a 1911, but it's another 45 pistol. I forgot what the maker is.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, then you got one for each hip, and your polished black leather holsters.
I'm gonna carry steel on my hip.
This is all stuff I've mostly inherited, but a lot of 22 pistols and Marlin from like the Marlin 22 lever action. I got one of those.
Those are actually nice. Yeah,
those are really good.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's from the 50s.
Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah, it's cool because it's old. But a lot of other things. Sometime, I mean, I know we can't do it on the live stream, but I'll just have to bring in all my shit and just show you sometime, because I don't go
out up there along the back wall. As long as you don't touch them, you're fine.
What? It's on the wall. It's okay.
Yeah, as long as you don't touch it. That's the newest rule. As long as you don't touch it, it's okay.
Makes sense.
Because then YouTube can't tell if it's real or not.
It's just okay, whatever.
No, it's still like it's so dumb. Like, and again, did we not find that out when you were here, Devin? Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Because that was like back when I was like still pretty new about it. So I was reading all the YouTube every time they would upgrade the terms of like the user agreement. I would sit there and read all like 80 pages of it.
Yeah, well, thanks for the fucking warning, because
I didn't think about it until it happened.
Me either. And then you're like, oh, this is why.
Yeah, like, Mike's just like, here you go, and he hands me a Danish crag, and then the stream just boom.
Well, then I had the FAL in my hands.
Yeah,
and we were just sitting there, and then you're like,
you can't handle guns, because like 2 days before that you could on a live stream.
Right, and then I was sitting there, I was like, what the fuck? And I was freaking out. I'm like, this is fucking bull. And they're like screaming, and Devin's like, dude, it's okay, it's okay. I'm like, god damn it, I'm throwing a fucking temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Right here.
Like, literally, like, because we were doing it on streams before that, like showing guns and stuff. And then it 2 days before that stream, they're like, no more handling guns on YouTube.
Jesus. The last times I went shooting, I think I told you about this, but the last time I went shooting was when I took my M1 up to the hills and I was shooting it, and I think I told you the thing is old as shit, and the gas plug flew out. I think I told you about that, didn't I?
Oh yeah. How you lost your gas plug on your?
Yeah, that was I was shooting. I was like, this is awesome, and then I shot. Yeah, and then it was like why is this thing not cycling anymore? And every time I shot, it was like a bolt action rifle. And
Oh my God.
The tip of it, yeah, it's just a big hole in the front. I'm like, all right. So then I was looking for it. I couldn't find it.
Well, of course, you probably spewed it out into the grass, and it's like any other small part you lose in the grass. It's
yeah, but I got a new one since then, so it's ready to shoot again. I've had to change a few parts on that thing. I mean, it's I looked at the serial number. It's from 1943, I think, and I forgot what the number is off the top of my head, but. So it's old as fuck, so it needs to be like maintained and shit. And then my AR-15 is from 1973. I looked that up too.
Ooh.
And, that thing runs like clockwork, though. That thing will just shoot like crazy. I mean, I don't know. I've always heard mixed things when it comes to, the ARs and stuff like that. But me personally, I've never had an issue with that one.
They're fine as long as you're running some cleaner commercial stuff in them and you maintain them regularly. Other than that, it's when you don't maintain them regularly is when they have problems.
Okay.
It's a rifle that needs a nearly fucking endless supply chain to keep going. And as long as that supply chain keeps up, it's a fine rifle.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's super fun. It's super easy. I could shoot it with one hand if I wanted to. I mean,
well, yeah, it's a 22.
Yeah, it's just fucking plastic, basically. And it's just.
Well, yeah, they were made by Mattel, you know.
Oh, we're getting into that one, huh?
That one guy made a receiver aftermarket as a joke, and it's a thing now that somebody literally in Vietnam actually saw, but nobody could ever prove.
See, this is why you got to be careful when you do shit like that, because it could lead to a whole stream of bullshit.
Well, the guy like did that because of that.
Yeah, he did it.
Nobody noticed the serial number is 0001.
01. Yeah.
Like they're all like, there it is! I fucking knew it! Yeah, Mattel made them.
I got issued one in Desert Storm, and it was a Mattel one, and even Mattel's like, no, we never did that.
By the way, Ashton, thank you. New name. Thanks for the super chat, man.
Today actually, I was working on doing a collab video, and we were with someone else, and we were talking about the myth about the exploding flamethrower, and which is one that's just existed forever, and it's
exploding gas tank in general.
Right, yeah, the exploding fuel tank of a flamethrower in World War II.
Well, and, even shooting a gas can that's like in a vehicle or something. It's like copper does not make sparks with steel.
No. Well, even then, it's like the bullet's not on fire unless, I mean, if it's incendiary ammo, there is a chance, but still,
tracer.
There needs to be like a lot of air in that can anyway to cause combustion. So it's
but also it's not actually going to blow up. That hole's just going to be like a concentrated jet of fire until all the gas is gone.
Right, but even then, like it's rare, you know. And but anyway, that's a myth that's been around for it's still really strong actually, and it's mostly perpetuated by movies and video games because it's a cool thing. Yeah, the flamethrower tank getting hit. You know,
well, also, like, you know, people are so used to thinking that every time an explosion happens, it's just nothing but fire.
Yeah, but like the only real thing that's dangerous when it comes to so like in talking about this myth, World War II, talking about the M2 flamethrower, and everyone, if you know that, it has two fuel tanks and then a smaller tank in the center, which is full of pressurized nitrogen. And that's what pushes the gas through it. Or the fuel through it.
It's what pressurizes the whole system,
Right, of course. Yeah, which, by the way, the fuel is napalm. It's like a gel substance. It's not like a liquid gasoline or anything. And so that if that combustion tank, if that pressure tank got shot, it could explode like a aerosol can, and like you could get hit by shrapnel from that thing. And that's dangerous. But it's not going to explode in a giant fireball, you know. Yeah, that's it. But like if those two giant fuel tanks, if one of those get hit, it's just going to vent that gas that's that nitrogen that's pressured inside it, and could possibly, if it gets hit like low, you know, that napalm could start to like ooze out, you know.
And napalm actually needs a really, really hot spark to set it off.
Oh yeah, that's another. That's also because people have said that, and because I've talked about this bullshit with people, and they're like, well, if it's incendiary ammo, it's gonna do it. It's like, dude, like, for one, nitrogen's not flammable. It needs to have a lot of air in there for combustion to happen.
And it won't if the bullet's just passing through it, even with an incendiary, because there isn't enough oxygen to actually have fire.
Right. So that's a myth that that still to this day, it's like, how do people still run into this bullshit and not like have the brains to realize how fucking illogical it is?
Because they don't know the chemistry behind it.
I guess, but it's not that difficult to figure out.
Michael, all right. A lot of people can barely read, let alone know chemistry. Okay,
Devin would know.
So,
oh my god. Let's see, someone's here. Okay, yeah, someone just talked about the pressurized tank. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the one thing that if that pressurized tank, and it's not like it would happen always, but if it was like fully pressurized, and especially in the heat where it's like becoming even more, combustible and all that stuff, if that got hit, it could erupt and send shrapnel everywhere. It could go through the flamethrower and kill the operator, but
because it is incredibly pressurized. But
oh yeah, but it's not going to, again, like just movies.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, let's think about this. Realistically, they get hit, and the guy happens to be shooting. It's gonna be, and then he might get shit on his boots, because it'll just fall.
Yeah.
But like it'll just be done, and then he ditches it because it's dead weight at that point, and then runs away.
Right.
Now, wasn't also flamethrowers so another thing that movies get wrong on? Wasn't there they had enough pressure to operate for 8 seconds?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Yep.
Yeah, to get rid of them, and then you see in the movies they're just
Yeah, well, that's the other myth. That's what we were talking about today. This guy that we're doing this thing, and it's like the flamethrower is more like a tool rather than a weapon.
Yeah. Right.
It was used to eliminate, a pillbox or a cave or something like that, and then you get rid of it. Yeah. And it's not like you're not running around the battlefield, burning guys, and something. The thing is fucking heavy as shit.
Yeah.
And
they normally call them up when they needed to be called up. They didn't just walk around on the front line.
Yeah. But if you look at a flamethrower, the M2 flamethrower, going back to that, it has quick release straps on the harness. So it's designed. It's kind of made to be disposable, almost like you use it for 10 seconds.
They were,
yeah. You eliminate your target, and then you get rid of it. So
and you pick them all up when it's over and go refill them.
And go recharge it. Yeah. So, but people think it was just another gun in the arsenal that it's meant to just burn people. It's no, it's meant to eliminate positions.
Oxygen. It's literally meant to like Baron just said. Baron's in the house, and he goes, it's literally if you hit a pillbox or a tunnel or something like that, and you pop a 2-second burst into there, there's gonna be so much fire that it's gonna suck all the oxygen out to burn, and people are gonna be literally and the heat and everything, and they're gonna have to come out, or they're just gonna sit in there and die.
Yep.
And so it's a brutal weapon, but it's not. You don't just go and light people on fire because that's not a quick death. You can still operate when you're on fire with adrenaline for a little bit, and you can possibly kill people. It's that might have happened for sure, but that's not the intention. It's a tool. It's okay, this bunker's in here, this tunnel's here. Get close enough, all the fire sucks all the shit out. It makes it really hot and uncomfortable, and then people get drawn out, and then you've got the flamethrower guy ideally doing that, and then you've got guys that are sitting with their rifles or their machine guns going, all right, burst. All right, these guys are gonna come out in 3, 2, 1, bam, and then they're done. And then you just hit them, and then somebody goes in and clears out the position if you can, and then it's one less bad position that you have to go up against. It's okay, let's get that taken care of. All right, cool, that's done. Incendiary grenade, whatever, destroy the equipment down there. Let's move on. It's very fast paced. It's very again, like you said, it's a tool. It's a specific tool for a specific purpose.
Fair. Does anyone know what they initially were used for? Because the one guy says they were designed to clear trenches, but that's not true because the flamethrower has been around since the 1400s.
Tell me, I only know about the World War II era ones. I know about
they used it. It was initially designed as a defensive thing for defending cities and. It's an area denial weapon. You set everything on fire around you, or you point it at a gate where people are coming through, and you just push fire out of the gate, and it keeps people away. So the Chinese had hand pumped ones where a guy would sit there with a torch, and they would have like kerosene, basically, or like whale oil, and a guy would sit there with this vacuum hand pump and pump it like a squirt gun to shoot fire onto all these people attacking cities and stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then the Germans kind of did their thing, actually, by borrowing it from the Japanese, because the modern flamethrower, the like man-portable one, was actually invented by the Japanese. And the Germans kind of got access to that when they were helping retrain the Japanese army in the 1800s, and they rolled with it. And then that's when World War I brought it into basically what it was known as until it was discontinued.
I see. You know, it's funny. When most people think of like World War II and flamethrowers, they really think of like the American Marine, you know, with the flamethrower, the M2. The Germans used flamethrowers quite a bit early on, which is interesting. They worked very differently than the U.S. ones. However, one thing that, because I've researched the D-Day defenses a lot and the Atlantic Wall and everything like that, there were a number of German remote-controlled flamethrowers, kind of like what you were just describing.
Defensive things. It's area denial weapons, yeah. So.
Yeah, called Abwehr Flammenwerfer 42, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, Abwehr Flammenwerfer, yeah.
Right, yeah. And it's
defense flamethrower, yeah.
Exactly. And it's just a tank with, a nozzle on it. And like at Omaha Beach at the defense point WN62, they had two of these things. However, they quickly did not work, and no flamethrowers by the Germans were used on D-Day. Is basically what I'm saying. But it's funny because like in figuring that out, that's kind of an obscure thing, and I kind of had to do some digging to learn that. And that's something to where, like, talking about video games and movies, I could see that being added to like a movie and just seeing jets of fire flying off of the German defenses or something like that. Like they didn't work at all on D-Day.
You guys gonna be shooting the shit
for
a while?
German technology.
You guys gonna be shooting the shit for a while? Because I'm planning on going over and shooting if the sun goes down. But if you guys want to shoot the shit for a while longer, if you're feeling up to it, Devin. Sure. I can just say I'll be gone for a few minutes, go over and shoot some guns, and then be back, and then we'll finish it up.
Okay.
Sure.
So you guys can carry on the conversation. Sounds good. I mean, I can't pass up an opportunity to shoot guns.
That's fair.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I were there, I'd be doing the same.
Remember, you can't carry one out with you out of that door, so. Because it'll show up.
I have a solution for that.
There we go.
Gone!
He's got a gun! He said it! Report it!
No, he's lying! He's lying! Yeah, I will be back. If you hear any major fights with the animals, let me know, and then timestamp it so I can hear, and then discipline them retroactively. Accordingly, yep.
It's all Remington's fault.
No, he's sleeping. He's passed the fuck out somewhere.
Exactly. Oh. That's why you won't be suspecting it.
Right. Oh, I just actually heard him outside the door. He's going to come kill the dog. Uh-oh. All right. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit.
All right.
He's armed. We see it. Witnesses.
Hear gunshots on his line.
Bam, bam. Maybe will, depending on.
No, when he turned that off and he started talking about his dog and everything like that, I just imagined to just start hearing like hellish like screaming and like the dog killing him.
Yeah.
And then just dead silence.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, what else have you learned about flamethrowers? I want to learn about flamethrowers. I'm all about knowledge. I got to get it any way I can. So. Of
course, yeah. No, basically, kind of everything I just said. I know that like I say, most people when they think of the flamethrower, they think of the American, handheld one from World War II that you see them using in the Pacific a lot. I think this comment earlier in the chat when they said the trenches, what they were referring to is the German one from World War I, which, if I remember right,
there's two of them.
Okay, well, I'm a novice when it comes to World War I. Mike is trying to get me into it more.
You should. It's way more interesting than World War II.
Really?
It is. Here's the thing: no World War I, there's no World War II.
Oh, that's true. No, that is very true. But I'm still easing into it, kind of like how I've also sort of eased into Vietnam. But when it comes to war history, but I do know that I think the Germans were the first to deploy a flamethrower with.
Yes, they actually deployed what was known as the Flammenwerfer Gross, which was a two-man flamethrower.
Yeah,
one person would operate the nozzle, and the other guy would carry the tank.
Okay, I thought there was one where it was like the tank was on wheels, and they would have to like push it like a car.
Yeah. So, and it wasn't super good.
Yeah. It's funny when you hear about stuff like that, because it is scary in concept. It's like, oh my God, can you imagine that? It's like, yeah, but it didn't work very well. You know?
Well, you got to try it. You know, World War I was literally, a lot of people don't know this, the pinnacle of all of the Industrial Revolution's arms race. So from like the 1850s until like 1900 was the greatest technological development stage for firearms in global history.
Damn.
And World War I is the culmination of that. You see planes, you know, howitzers that can shoot further than anybody can see, machine guns, the cavalry being effective, stuff like all culminating into one thing.
Well, tanks,
machine guns, you know, all that stuff. The first submachine guns, shotguns being used in combat, all that stuff is in World War I.
Yeah. No, I absolutely, it's crazy. And well, that's one thing that I do think is really fascinating about World War I, that it's like it's using a lot of old tactics, but then there's all this new technology that's coming and just like fucking everything up because of how devastating it is. And it's like, oh, we can't fight like, you know, chivalry anymore, you know, like there's and all that stuff. It's really, it's insane. That's one part about it that I find really interesting, is that it's kind of using these old school ways of fighting with all of this new technology that kind of stomps on those things. You know?
And World War I was like the first war where a lot of people, it was basically Napoleonic tactics before that, where you would march out in lines with your officers in front.
Yep.
And you would engage the enemy. You're just doing it at like 3/4 of a mile away now.
Yep.
The French literally marched into German machine guns with bright red pants, bright blue tunics, their officers with their white gloves and their swords out front
like
in 1914. And that was just how they thought it was going to be fought. But World War I was also the first place, and really the only war since then on a grand scale, where the battles lasted more than a few days at a time.
Yeah.
Because most battles throughout history would last an afternoon, and then somebody would run away and they would pursue, or they would both give up and go back to their camps, and you would reconvene at a later date to finish this war. World War I's the first place where people are like standing there for years in the same rotting death.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah. The French always seem to be behind when it comes to that. Like, I don't know. I don't want to like knock the French because it seems like it's such a stereotype at this point. But like, it seems like, like World War I, like they're using these like tactics from the 1800s or whatever, or these, you know, formalities and everything like that. World War II runs around. They're still stuck with all their shit from World War I. You know?
Well, a lot of that was because their government. The French army people give the French army shit all the time, and me and Mike really don't like it because it's kind of undeserved. The French army, if they're left to their own devices, so going back to like, even in the, you know, the Franco-Prussian War, World War I, and World War II, France like historically had the largest standing army in the world. The world. And now look at how many people are in India and China. And France has the largest standing army in the world going into World War II. It was like obscene for France to lose as fast as they did in World War II but like a lot of that was they get hampered by politics like everyone else does.
Yeah, I guess I haven't, you know, factored that in, but that is true. So, I mean,
the government wouldn't give them the funds to upgrade their tanks, to put radios in them and stuff, to communicate effectively. They wouldn't give them because everyone thought World War I was the last war, you know?
Right.
The French government didn't give the French military everything they needed to actually like effectively fight the Germans in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
But in World War I, they held up, of the Western Front, 75% of it was just French.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone else on the Western Front was only 25%, but everyone seems to think that the French did nothing.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how it is. I mean, that's how a lot of people in the United States and stuff like view World War II. Like a lot of people don't really know that the Russians were involved in World War II. And it's like that was Germany's biggest enemy.
They're huge, their biggest threat. They put all of their fittest troops, all of their best technology, almost all of their tanks.
Yep.
Eastern Front.
Yep. And that's the thing.
From World War I, Russia's like a train, like a steam engine.
Right.
You gotta kill it before it gets up to speed.
Right. No, I've met people who are like, oh, the Russians, the Russians have always been our enemies. They were our allies. Like, yeah, they were Germany's biggest fucking enemy, not the United States or England.
They didn't give a shit about the United States and England.
No, but like even on that scale, like if you want to play that game, it's like, okay, their biggest enemy was Russia, and then probably the UK, not the United States at all. I mean,
well, the UK not really from a impressive military standpoint, but like because the German army was bigger for a lot of war, bigger.
Of course.
But like the British did a lot of the espionage, a lot of the intelligence gathering, a lot of specific targeting of infrastructure, a lot of spy work, a lot of assassinations.
Mm-hmm.
So the British were like, unlike the Russians, which is just a giant hammer you don't want to hit you.
Yeah.
The British army was, and the British military in general was more of a death by 1,000 cuts. They're like, start severing individual little nerves, eventually crap's going to stop working.
Right. So, that's a good way of putting it.
They cracked Enigma. They did all the other stuff that people don't give the British credit for. So
no, not even. I mean, like, I'm sorry, like as a film person, like I know a lot of war movies and shit. And I was about to say, like the shitty movie U-571, which depicts the Americans capturing an Enigma machine.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people don't know that is the first sign of danger.
Yeah.
The Germans are destroying the Enigma machine.
We were talking about flamethrowers earlier, and talking about Omaha Beach and flamethrowers. Actually, another misconception with Omaha Beach is that the U.S. soldiers landed with flamethrowers. They actually landed separately, and
I was gonna say, aren't they in one of the later waves, right?
Yeah. Well, so like the boats, like a typical like landing craft at Omaha Beach was 30 guys maximum.
Okay.
And they would have that boat of guys, and then they would have a what are they called? DUWK, I think it's called. It's like an amphibious.
The duck.
Yeah, the duck. And they would have that coming up with heavy weapon supplies like bazookas and flamethrowers and things like that. And the idea is that they would land, and their cargo basically would land with them, and they would get that and then move off land. They didn't, unlike most movies and stuff like that, or just what most people think, is that they were in the boats with all this stuff.
People just get off the Higgins boats with everything ready to go.
Right. No, yeah, they weren't. Yeah. They if you ever look at photographs, when you look at the Rangers who scaled Point to Hawk, some of them have bazookas with them because that was a special kind of operation. But at Omaha Beach, you'll never see a boat like with a bazooka in the boat or anything like that, or a flamethrower. Yeah. So the Americans did have M1 flamethrowers. They didn't use the M2s that were very common in the Pacific. They had M1 flamethrowers landed at Omaha Beach. However, the whole operation was such a clusterfuck that they actually never used them.
What's the difference between the M1 and the M2?
The M1 is a really shitty piece of shit. To put it it looks like visually it looks like a weed burner. It's just a wand with like a big muzzle at the end of it, and it used a different igniting system. Like the M2 has a pyrotechnic ignition cartridge, which is similar to like a road flare.
Yeah.
And those are interchangeable, and they come in six shots. So before going into combat with the M2, you'd unscrew the muzzle and you put one of these ignition cartridges in it, which has 6 lighters in it.
It's little road flares, yeah.
Right. And those road flares burn for 5 seconds. So then you screw the cap back on. When you go in, you hit that and it ignites, and it's like a road flare shooting out. And then when you release the fuel, that's what ignites it.
Yeah. So it's just an open flame, essentially.
Exactly.
In the muzzle that just ignites the gas as it goes past.
Yep.
Okay.
The M1 had batteries that would charge
electricity with
that would charge these prongs that would have like an electrical arc going through it, and the fuel would go through that and it would ignite that, and that like worked usually never. And
it sounds incredibly complicated.
Right. Well, and then like, so what's funny is it's funny they decided to use the M1 at fucking Omaha Beach, a beach landing, because it's like, okay, those batteries.
And they clearly had M2s because they were giving them in the Pacific like 2 years before that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that system with those batteries and those prongs with the electrical, it's like water is going to fuck that immediately. Those batteries are going to corrode.
That goes straight with electricity. Yeah.
Exactly right. So that's why like the M2 is actually very ideal for the Pacific, because you can jump in the water with it, come out, and put that ignition cartridge in, and it lights immediately, you know?
Now, was it one of those like road flares? Because road flares can like burn underwater too.
They can, yeah. That's exactly what those ignition cartridges are. They're like road flares. So if you ever see, right, like most movies are like propane mock-ups when they do flamethrowers, but if you see stock footage of an actual M2 flamethrower shooting, it's like a fucking spark like sort of shooting out of the end of it. Like it's crazy. Yeah, it's not like just this idle flame at the end of it. It's like a road flare. It's really intense. And so like, yeah, even like with that ignition cartridge inside that muzzle, you could jump off like an Amtrak or like a Higgins boat into the water, come out, shake the water out at the end of it, and like hit that ignition cartridge, and immediately it would work.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, so that's pretty cool.
They're like, use the battery one.
Yeah, use this fucking shitty system with the batteries. And
I mean, to be fair though, like America is one of them armies that like they get their butt whooped the like first fight of every war they participate in, but they learn really fast.
That's true.
Like the second that first flamethrower guy, was like, this is a bad idea. That's when they figured it out. So
exactly. I mean that's pretty much when you think about like North Africa with the Americans. They got a rude awakening with that one.
They learned from it really quickly though.
Yep.
That's the thing. The same thing in World War I. The Americans show up, rack up some horrendous casualties, but they learn.
Yep.
Learn by doing, unfortunately.
Well, that's how it is in the United States. When you go work at a new job, they don't train you. They just say, go do it. And when you make mistakes, we'll tell you not to do that. And that's how you learn.
Yeah, we'll give you a write-up and say we'll fire you if you do it again. Do better. Do better.
Do gooder next time.
Yeah, do gooder next time. God. That sounds about right.
Right. But I find flamethrowers and things like that interesting because it's kind of something that people don't really, it's for some reason, it's kind of obscure. Yeah, like you just told me, like, I don't really know much about flamethrowers. It's like something that people seem to, for some reason, who are into war history, like, not consider, and there's all these misconceptions because of that. Like we were just talking about earlier with Mike was on, people don't really understand what the flamethrower was during World War.
Little intricacies and what it was used for. I mean, you said, what people think of the first thing when they think of World War II flamethrowers is think of the Pacific. My mind instantly went to China.
Oh, really?
The Japanese used them against the Chinese all the time. And I know a lot about the Chinese in World War II, actually. A lot of people don't know anything about the Chinese in World War II. But
the Indochina War and all that?
No, like China, like nationalist China was in World War II against the Japanese. It's the same thing where like Japan's largest enemy was not the United States. It was China.
Right. Well, the whole thing fucking started with China, in the 30s. So.
Yeah, that's why World War II isn't actually from 1939 to 1945. It's actually from like 1932 to 1945 because Japan has been doing all this crap in China for a long time. And people were giving aid to China, including the United States. They were giving aid to China and everything like that. The Germans were giving aid to China against the Japanese in the 30s.
Yeah, that's the famous what's the rape of Nanking,
Mm-hmm.
and the what's that one of the German like liaison over there, John Rabe, I think his name was. He was like giving aid to the Chinese people, and eventually the Germans had to like say, hey, you got to stop that because Japan is our ally or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know too much about that story, but I always thought when I heard that, I thought that was kind of interesting.
it was really weird. There's a lot of weird stuff that happened in China because it was like the communists versus the nationalists, and they both kind of sometimes still fought each other, but mostly fought the Japanese.
Mm.
And it was a weird thing. But like the Japanese would burn people out of apartment buildings with flamethrowers.
They could be vicious, man.
And well, that's how you win a war. I mean, there's no such thing as a good war. And the Japanese are like, we're just going balls to the wall. We're in it to win it. And they were in it to win it. They did a lot of really horrific stuff. They would send new recruits. Like again, it would be like with the Germans, and they would send their freshest recruits to China, and they would like literally get them used to like killing people by rounding up civilians and getting new recruits to stab them to death. Jeez. And then they'd be like, oh, now we'll go put you on a Pacific Island where you can fight the Americans. All this practice you had will come in good use.
Well, I guess it did become, I guess it was useful because, the Americans talk about just how brutal the Japanese could be,
And a lot of their veterans that the Americans actually fought spent a lot of the 30s in China.
And
the like biggest conquests of China. That's where like the rape of Nanking happens, and the siege of all these huge cities and these horrendous massacres. The Japanese really like desensitized all their troops by making them participate in that.
Well, that's interesting because what I was just talking about, this whole thing, talking about the flamethrower and all that, it's because I'm doing a video with another YouTuber who's we're breaking down Hacksaw Ridge, the movie, and and we've already got 2 parts out. If you go to his channel, and he and I we've done videos on that, and so we're doing the 3rd one, which is about the Bonsai charge, in the movie.
Oh yeah. I know the historical advisor for that movie.
Yeah.
Guy, so.
That poor man.
Yeah.
But no, we're talking about how fucking terrible it is and all things. But like,
I told him that after I saw the movie, I was like, "That is horrific," and he's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yes," because he only knows about Australia. He doesn't know anything about any of the other factions in that movie.
Yeah, well, the movie was shot in Australia, and everyone involved was Australia. I know an extra from the movie because
but their historical advisor only knows Australian military history. That's all he gave a shit about.
Well, the Australians do, like, when it comes to World War II, the Australians, they think of the Japanese. They don't think of the Germans and stuff like that. So I can understand if he was a little more versed in the Japanese stuff, but like,
no, he doesn't know anything about Japanese.
No shit. Oh man. But anyway, okay. So when doing research about the actual Battle of Hacksaw Ridge, which is actually called the Maida Escarpment, it's only called Hacksaw Ridge on the map.
Yeah. No one ever. 20-foot high cliff you could get up with a ladder.
Yeah, it's like 20 feet. We were researching the actual battle, and we found out that the Japanese unit that was on top of it, guarding it, had just been called back from China, and they were in China for the whole war, and they were like an elite unit. It was like these guys were like tough shit. And that's why they had them guard that ridge. And that's why the ridge was such a fucking bloodbath, was because these guys were like hardcore.
Yeah, that's what the Japanese did. All of their best soldiers were not trained. That's the thing. Like, everyone got the same training in Japan, and how they picked all their veteran units were basically like, who did the most fighting and did the best in actual war. And that's how their elite units became to be elite units, by actually doing good in actual war. Not because they got extra training or anything, because they've literally killed people.
Hey, I mean, you got to give the Japanese props for just calling a spade, and say, if you're going to do war, you better go balls to the walls.
That's in it to win it. And I don't think anyone was more in it to win it than Japan was. So They didn't pull any punches or any strings like that. So
that's true.
They didn't mess around, and they put up the second highest casualties, right behind the Russians in World War II against the Chinese. So
yeah, no, and Japan and Russia, they did. I haven't looked into
25% of their army along the border in Manchuria because they were so worried that Russia was going to cross the border.
Right, and that was like really towards the end, wasn't it?
Their whole war from the 30s and onward. Once Manchuria became a puppet state, they kept a massive portion of their army along the Russian border because they were so concerned the Russians were going to push into China and try to take it from them. So the whole war was a lot of like, I don't like to say this because, you know, it kind of makes the Americans feel bad because they did a lot of work, but they actually fought the worst of the Japanese army and the worst of the German army because all of the best troops were on the other fronts from them.
Yeah, well, that's why you always hear, like, during World War II, when it comes to, the Western Front, like France and all that in 1944 and onwards, it's like, these are all, like, you know, fucking static divisions and you know...
old men, like young boys, people that are, like, phone operators and shit.
Right. Like, imagine the Americans going up against, like, the 6th Army or something like that, you know, is at Stalingrad and things like that.
That's putting up, you know, hundreds of thousands of casualties and...
Yeah.
Stuff like that, you know, that would have been a whole different fight, I think, if all the units on the Eastern Front were on D-Day.
Oh yeah, no shit. And, that is right. That Americans do not like to hear that, but you know, I'm all about I don't want to say rattling the cages, but you know, like
ruining the hero worship, kind of.
Yeah. It's like, let's just call it spade a spade here. Like let's look at what it is. You know, like. It doesn't degrade, you know, anyone or like say that they, you know, are worse or whatever like that. It's just, it is what it is. Let's call it what it is, you know. And in this Hacksaw Ridge video, that's kind of what we're doing. It's like this fucking bullshit, man. It's the Bonsai charge, and it's like Mel Gibson depicts it as though like the Japanese are like millions, like the entire Japanese army coming up over the ridge in this massive charge. It's like the Bonsai charges would be like, especially at this point in this time of the war, on that ridge line that's not very big, it would have been like a dozen guys, and they would have been using grenades more than their
the Japanese didn't just do that as like their first punch. That was like they usually had to lose a lot of commanders, and like a huge amount of their fighting force.
Exactly right.
Like, you know what? It's lost. Let's go try to kill as many people as we can.
Well, yeah. Well, but I mean, like movies and just like also sensationalism, like storytelling. So that people love like the image of, you know, like charging with the bayonet and everything like that. But again, like majority of Bonsai charges, like they would have been throwing grenades while they were running, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's way more effective than a fucking bayonet, you know?
Well, the Bonsai charge's goal was to just put up casualties.
Right.
And they used whatever they could to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They shot their guns. They didn't just charge with swords, because everyone portrays the Japanese as having more honor, I think, than they actually thought they did.
Yeah,
because you notice in every movie, they never shoot while they're Bonsai charging. They never do anything other than just like, I'm going to stab you.
Right, yeah, no. They
did everything in their power. They even had like on flanks of Bonsai charges, and sometimes even in the middle, light machine gun support.
Yeah, light machine gun support. No,
yeah.
Exactly
and
right.
People don't ever show that. They're just like, it's a suicide charge into machine guns for honor.
Like, no, dude. Oh, God. So that really bothers me. Well, and then also, because, we were watching the scene, and there's a part in that movie where, like, the Japanese soldier, he shows him with a hand grenade. You know, with those Japanese grenades, you have to, like, hit them, and they're primed or whatever.
You have to activate the chemical fuse,
right.
Yeah.
But, like, he's laying on this Japanese soldier's laying on the ground. He has that grenade, and he hits it on the ground, and he walks up to this American. He walks up to him and then like pushes the grenade in his chest. And he's holding on to him, and they're like screaming at each other. And then finally they blow up. It's like, okay, the whole suicide thing, you're talking about like the people like to think they're more honorable and stuff like that. I mean, I guess with the movie, what they're trying to show is that the whole death before dishonor, you know, like,
yeah.
I mean, the Japanese are fucking like outnumbering and sweeping the area. this guy has no reason to blow himself up just to kill this one guy.
Fair.
I mean, he would do that like. Go ahead.
People think the Japanese never surrendered, too. There was actually a huge number of Japanese soldiers that were told to surrender.
Yeah, I've seen tons of photos of Japanese prisoners.
No, like even early on in the war, their job was to surrender and try to cause like uprisings and escape prison and like stab people and get supply lines and information and crap and like report back. And they did it a lot. A lot. They had Japanese soldiers specifically trained for like evasion and escape. And they would purposely surrender, be put into prisons, and they would escape at night, right down where all the fucking ammo dumps and the trucks and the gas and shit were, and run back to their lines. And it happened all the time. And everyone's like, the Japanese never surrender. No, there's a lot of people that were like, your job is to surrender. Like, we want you to surrender to gather information or to like get close to these people or to like even if you can't escape, give them bad intelligence. Give them, you know, whatever. And like nobody talks about that either.
Yeah. Well, that's a really interesting thing that most people don't consider. But like people only like surface level stuff. They like it to make sense right away. And you have to explain that whole thing to someone and they're going to fucking tune out. But, you know, when it comes to, but with that scene with the guy with the grenade, and it's like, you know, people who, that's kind of the thing that's known from World War II is like the Japanese soldier who would like be wounded and he would wait with a grenade and like an American would come up and he'd basically booby trap himself to where he'd blow himself up. And it's like, okay, if someone was going to do that, they're probably paralyzed or like seriously wounded, they can't move, and it's going to be after the battle, not during it, you know? It's
pretty much. It'd be like when people are going through cleanup looking for wounded people and stuff. It's not like during, but like that did happen. The Japanese were like, I'm not going to live through this.
Yeah,
I might
exactly.
blow myself up, you know?
Right. So like if someone's like got their legs fucked up or their spine's busted, you know, and they have a grenade, they're going to do that. However, in the movie, like the guy's not, he gets up and walks over to the guy, and then like he clearly has strength because he's like wrestling him.
Holding him, yeah.
Yeah,
holding him. Definitely still back at the lines fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but why is this guy doing this? This makes no sense.
That guy's not going to blow himself up. He's like, he'd be like, I'm okay. I'm going to go back and fight now. Yeah.
I'm going to pick up a rifle and shoot this guy rather than killing him and myself with a hand grenade. So, yeah, I just I can't take it, man.
Yeah, but it's every single thing.
Yep. Oh yeah. See, someone put in the comments here. They saw that with the grenade. They saw that happen in the show The Pacific. Exactly right. In The Pacific, in episode 1, they depict that, and the guy is paralyzed. He's like, he can't move.
He's a vegetable. Yeah, that's when they would blow themselves up.
Right, and and he's like, and you know, it's after the battle. They're like, oh, there's a live one over here, and it's the Guadalcanal. It's before the Americans really know what the Japanese are all about, because later in the war they probably would have shot that guy. But you know,
they definitely did.
Yeah, he's sitting there like, oh, and the medics are like, oh, there's a wounded soldier. Okay, and they pick him up, and the guy pulls out a grenade and he kills 2 medics, and it's like that is how it would have happened.
Yeah, and that guy would have been all about that. He's like, 2 medics for 1 grenade? Hell yeah!
Yeah, that's a good score for him.
That's a lot. That's why the Americans also stopped painting all the crosses on their uniforms. The Japanese were real big on killing people that had radios, people that had the big red cross thing on them, even though the rules they don't do it. And everyone's like, that's against the Geneva Convention. Well, guess who wasn't there to sign that shit?
The Japanese were not part of the Geneva Convention.
They did not give a fuck. So technically they were not breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Like, the Geneva Convention is another thing. I hate when people say that, like, that was cruel and yada yada, this and that, like using triangular knife blades. There's nothing in the Geneva Convention that says you can't use a triangular knife blade.
I don't know about this. Tell me, what is that?
So like so like knife blades that are round or like triangular create what is called a horrific wound because it is hard to fix.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense. They're like, you can't. Everyone's like, the Geneva Convention says you can't have triangular knife blades or like cruel and unusual weapons and stuff like that. It says no cruel and unusual weapons. Like when they said no using flamethrowers, and America's like, we're not signing that. America did that a lot. They're like, we're not signing that. Actually. But there's this big thing that everyone's like, you can't use a triangular shaped knife blade because it makes a cruel and unusual hole. And I'm like, oh, so getting shot by a 30-06.
Yeah. Getting blown up by a fucking grenade.
Is it somehow not as bad wound as getting stabbed by a round knife blade?
Dude, what the fuck do they think grenades do? Grenades are chunks of fucking metal flying everywhere.
It makes no sense. And you know what? Like, you look back at like the Revolutionary War and the Napoleonic era days, every single bayonet was triangular shaped.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean...
But there's a reason why they went away. And everyone just seems to think that like the Geneva Convention banned it. But there's a reason why they went away, and it's actually like a kind of horrific, gruesome thing. So cruciform bayonets became a big thing after the triangular blades. It would be just a big spike, and they would mill little channels out of it because supposedly it would help bleed more.
Okay.
When you stab somebody, you make little air channels for stuff to escape, which wasn't really true. It actually just kind of lightened it up and it saved metal. But what it would do is it would create all these jagged edges. So your body's involuntary response when you stab somebody, all right? So like you get stabbed, your body's involuntary response is to clamp muscles around whatever was stabbing you. And so if you have a bayonet that has a bunch of jagged edges, like a triangular shaped blade or a cruciform blade or something like that, it is really hard to retract out of a person.
Oh, interesting, huh?
So it became very common to use knife blades, which is why the knife blade is still standard, because for one, you can use it as a knife, which is a good tool to have. And it doesn't do that. It doesn't get stuck in because it's a very flat, kind of rounded piece. It slides in and out real easy.
Interesting.
But everyone's like, no triangular knife blades. It's a horrific wound. I'm like, oh, so getting shot isn't a horrific wound? Because it's almost the same hole.
You know, trying to justify these things, it's just like it seems like it's just to soothe people's conscience so they don't have to think about the fact that what they're doing is fucking terrible. But it is terrible no matter what. I mean, that makes no fucking sense. I might be wrong about this. You'll probably know way more than me. But I think, was it in World War I, the Germans tried to ban the shotgun or something like that?
Yeah, they said it was the same thing. They're like, it was horrific wounds. Meanwhile, the Germans are setting people on fire and using poison gas. Yeah. You know, and then all this other like horrific crap, and they're like, shotguns are bad, and the Americans were basically like, kill us then.
Yeah. That makes no sense. So that's just funny. Anytime I hear something like that, because people trying to and I hear that all the time, even today, like with World War II. Just today, I heard someone talking about, the atomic bombs on Japan. Like, oh, the atomic bombs, they actually saved lives in the long run. It's like, no, it was to scare Russia. It was not to.
Well, it was a show of dominance. That's what it was.
Exactly. Yeah, it didn't have anything to do with saving lives in the long run. It was to prove a point.
Sort of, kind of. Depends on who you're talking to.
That's true. It is a little
Department of Defense, it's about saving lives. If you're talking to the White House, it's about a show of force.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
So, because the Department of Defense estimated that an invasion of mainland Japan was going to be like 20 to 40,000 casualties, and this is also when America's bankrupt as fuck. They've spent a lot of money on this war. A lot of people don't know that. Incredibly, a lot of money on this war. It was also America was if the war would have went on for another few months, would have been bankrupt.
Right.
So a lot of it was to save money, to be a show of force, and to not have to find 40,000 men, tanks, equipment, and stuff to invade mainland Japan, which after Okinawa, where there literally are children charging Americans with sharpened bamboo sticks, and that's not even actual Japan. America really didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting video about this really detailed breakdown about everything that led up to the bombs being dropped on Japan. I should send it.
There was a lot of stuff that was talked about, and everyone had different opinions for it and different ideas for it. And it's there's a whole number of reasons as to why it was dropped, and it really depends on who you talk to.
Of course, yeah.
So there's no one right answer because it depends on who you're talking to. Because if you're talking to Eisenhower, he's it's to save lives. If you're talking to Truman, it's to be a show of force, to show power. If you're talking to, some people in manufacturing or Wall Street, they're it's to save money.
Yeah.
It's because America was in so far in the red at that point.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's a lot of things coming into one. And
then once all those guys get together, the bankers and the president and Eisenhower, they're well, now we just have 3 good reasons to do it. Send them bitches up in the sky. So, but I also like how people were also the nuclear scientists, like when they did the first detonation of a nuclear bomb, the math said that there was about a 50% chance that all of the oxygen in the atmosphere was going to set on fire.
in the world?
There's literally mathematically about a 50% chance that it was going to atomize the air. In like a horrific chain reaction. Like it was a real thing that could have happened, and they're just like, do it anyways.
Jesus. Well,
yeah, I mean, and I'm like, what? I'm like, you're gonna set the air on fire. I guess watching us from space as the Earth just goes from New Mexico to just red.
That's like in the terrible, hilariously terrible movie Battlefield Earth when the planet gets destroyed.
I mean, it sounds like something like Dr. Doom is gonna do in like a terrible like Batman universe, like some guy that's like a psychopath and some super evil, like I'm going to set the atmosphere on fire.
Well, we can argue that World War II might have been the closest we've come to the apocalypse. So
definitely.
So it is fitting
that ask Japan about that, how nice that was for them. So
what'd you say?
You could ask Japan how nice it was.
Oh.
They'll probably say yes, it was the apocalypse.
I had some crackpot, so every once in a while I'll watch people react to different shows and stuff like that, and they were reacting to the Pacific, and there are a bunch of like hipster doofuses watching the show. I won't say what channel it is, but and they're like, oh yeah, and then they were talking about the last episode of the Pacific, because episode 9 ends with them mentioning the bombs dropped on Japan, and they're like, this is all led up to this and stuff, and that the atomic bombs being dropped, and one of them was like, yeah, you still can't go there, can you? Like it's still like radiating, isn't it? And they're just like, are you fucking stupid? Like,
no, you definitely can go there. People still live there.
Yeah, it's like you thought that like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were like Chernobyl or something like that.
Well, there's still like radiation effects. Like they have weird looking flowers and stuff that grow in those cities because of that.
Of course, but yeah, I mean,
but it's not like you're gonna die of radiation poisoning.
That's what I'm saying. No one's dying of ARS over there.
Yeah. Oh God.
So, I sometimes I run into stuff like that. I'm just like,
I kind of love the like innocence in people when they just like do that. Even they find that stuff out there. Like I don't even want to like explain to them why they're wrong. It's like you're so innocent.
Right? Yeah. That's very true. I recently I've learned to kind of be amused by that sort of thing. But before,
it's so great. You're just like, you know nothing, and it's so cute.
Before that, I was like, God damn it, man! It's just last night that War Movies Facebook page that I follow that Mike rolls his eyes at, because there's a lot of shit there, but occasionally you'll get something interesting. And I like to talk to some people on there who have, are into war movies and such. But so I posted a video clip from the Pacific, and then someone just responded with a painting, and the painting was of a beach landing in the Pacific, but it was copied from the famous Into the Jaws of Death photo that was taken on D-Day. Like all the poses were the exact same from that photo, but they were wearing marine equipment instead of.
So they just took the guys, put marine stuff on them, and like a jungle in the background.
Yeah, they copied the pose. This guy posted this photo, kind of like, isn't that deep or something? I'm just like, dude, this is fucking stupid. And
You showed the original picture.
Yeah, photo, and I'm like, dude, and he was like, he couldn't see it. He could not see it. He was like, no, they're Marines. Can't you see because of their equipment? I'm like, I'm not talking about that. Look at the poses.
Their faces are exactly the same. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it was so frustrating. But yeah, you get that special kind of stupid sometimes, which you just got to laugh at it, I guess. And that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah, it's much nicer that way rather than working yourself up, getting like into it with all these people, because they'll never get it.
Yeah.
So, ever.
Oh,
welcome back, Mike. How was your outing?
It was good. Dave won the competition.
Uh-oh.
But he's a wheel gun guy. I wasn't that far behind him. Like, to be fair, like I wasn't that far behind him.
You shoot a wheel gun too?
Yeah.
You were out there at that target and you yeed your last target. Bam.
Sure.
Now he won because he's got long hair like they had in the West, and you didn't have a 10-gallon hat to balance it out. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, gosh. Me and Mike had some awesome conversations about flamethrowers.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the Americans used the terrible battery flamethrower in World War II on D-Day.
Yeah. Well, they tried to use it. They didn't end up using it because the whole Omaha Beach thing was fucked. They, like I said, they landed separately with the flamethrowers landed separately, and the whole thing was fucked at that point. And they just said, "Fuck the flamethrowers, we're not using them." So, like, if you ever see a depiction in the movie or like whatever of Americans on Omaha Beach like burning German bunkers, that's not accurate. They never did that.
Oh, weird.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah.
So Saving Private Ryan lied to me?
It lied.
Damn it, Steven Spielberg!
Dude, I could do a 3-hour video essay about the German defenses in that movie, and I with my nerdism when it comes to Omaha Beach, and I've schooled people in it before, and yeah, it's fucking.
It's pretty impressive because it's like when you look at what the actual Omaha Beach was, it doesn't look that intimidating when you're like rolling up on it. You're like, oh,
no, it's not meant to. It's just the German defenses were hidden.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Well, the one thing is that it's like when the beach was at low tide, which they landed at low tide in the early morning. The sand, it's like 400 yards. It's not just like you get off and you're right there. It's really long. It's like a fucking.
There's gonna be some walking that we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, across open ground.
Right. Well, I've miraculously dug up aerial reconnaissance photos taken a few days before D-Day that a plane, a reconnaissance plane would fly along the shore and take photos of the whole area. And the photos are really unclear, and I was able to actually like doctor them to where I could clean them up and actually see shit. And when you look at the actual sectors, because I know exactly where they are, I mean, the German defenses, they're very hidden. Like, they're not big ass bunkers out in the open. I mean, they're not meant to be seen.
Know where they are.
Right. Yeah, they're not meant to be seen. A lot of the big prominent ones were like that were guarding the draws that led inland, which those draws were very protected. A lot of those bunkers were, the sides of them were kind of like dressed up to look like a house, even a lot of the time. They tried to look like a seaside villa, and so yeah, whenever you see like video games and such, especially video games, like the Atlantic Wall at Omaha Beach is like the Maginot Line, it just like
it's just nothing but concrete bunkers with 80 sticking out of them.
Yeah, these fucking concrete fortresses facing the fucking ocean. That's not how it is. The machine gun bunkers and even like the casemates that held field pieces and such, they're pointed down the beach. They're not pointed at the ocean. They're pointed down the beach to hit the enemy on the side.
You get more people. You have more surface area for bullets to fly. That's just efficiency.
Fire. Yeah. So you'll never see fucking like bunkers on the Atlantic Wall facing the ocean. They're always facing the side, and there's a wall that's kind of protecting the embouchure, because if you're directly on the beach, you won't be able to see into it.
Fair. Yeah. I also like how in the movie, did you notice, like when the Germans are shooting out of the bunker, the Americans are like 100 yards away, and I'm like, Americans know how to shoot better than that. I'm like
right,
opening.
Right.
Like the first guy at that boat's gonna go boom and blow your brains out. Like you're 100 yards away.
So to correct that, yeah, to start with, that German fucking bunker you see in the movie that's kind of become iconic now with that fucking aperture.
That's what all the video games are made out of. Yeah.
Of course it is. It just copies from that movie without doing any real research. That's called a Schnabelstand, which means beak position in German. And the reason why it's called that is because from the side with that embouchure, they thought it looked like an open bird beak.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they
very
called
literal. The Germans are very literal when they name stuff.
Right. But that's actually what that is meant for is actually fire control and observation.
I was going to say, that's just for the guys with binoculars, and they would radio and direct stuff.
Right. Yeah. Inside that thing would be a rangefinder on a pedestal, and they would get that slit aperture that goes onto the sides as well. That's meant so you can scan the horizon, the entire thing. It's not a machine gun position. But on top of that,
the machine gun openings like that big?
The machine gun opening is going to be a
like a barrel, basically. Yeah.
Right. And but even then, Schnabel stand, that type of bunker, those were actually, the majority of those were along Pas de Calais. None of those were in Normandy. So you will never see a Schnabel stand that's in Saving Private Ryan at Omaha Beach or any of the landing beaches.
Yeah, because didn't they think it was going to come at Calais rather than?
They did. Pas de Calais was reinforced as fuck. And that's actually where a lot of the giant, like batteries and such that have inspired.
Because that's where the Germans expected it to be.
Exactly right. Yeah. A lot of the German nests, like on Omaha Beach, actually were still under construction. A lot of the bunkers were kind of, half built and stuff when you look at photos of them. And when it comes to the machine gun positions on Omaha, there a lot of them were out in the open, like in a trench or a Tobruk. A Tobruk
like a sandbag wall.
Yeah, well, a Tobruk was the main thing. A Tobruk is I think I explained this to Mike at one point.
It's the open, the one with the open thing for the mortars.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a concrete structure built into the ground, like it's surface level with the ground, and it has
Yep.
a hole in it. Yeah, and you jump in that hole, and you can mount a machine gun in that, and you can move 360 degrees around it. Or if you have a machine gun, you can drop down inside it and shoot a mortar out of it.
So it's a fire pit.
Basically, yeah. And on the inside, if you look at photos of a lot of these things, like, of course, like, after the battle, if there was a guy with a machine gun there, he took it out, and left. But like the ones that were used for mortar pits, when you look inside, they have range cards painted all along the inside of it.
Yeah, all the degrees and stuff too, so you can map it out real easy. That's
without even having to stick your head up above it. So
that's super efficient. Good job, Germany.
So, but
I like that. I like the little things that Germany did. That's like, God damn it, these people. So, you don't even think about stuff. They're like, no, we painted all the degree lines for you on the casemate, so you don't need to poke your noodle up.
But,
that's a good German. That's probably the best German accent I've ever heard in my life. that's really good stuff. It's quality, Devin. Keep it going.
I can go on about how Saving Private Ryan's fucked up the actual Omaha Beach battle, but a lot of people don't like to hear about it because a lot of people,
very connected.
A lot of people really put that movie on a pedestal.
I mean, Tom Hanks is the only thing in that movie that needs to be on a pedestal.
I won't say Saving Private Ryan's a bad movie. It's definitely not my favorite. It's probably the most influential war film ever made.
Yeah, it's a good Hollywood movie. It's a bad
good Hollywood movie. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So.
Jeez. I didn't know that though. I learned a lot about this. All the degree marks on the fire pit, man.
I can send you tons of shit about Omaha Beach.
I want to read about all of the stuff so I can then go watch my 70th anniversary DVD of Saving Private Ryan and sit there with my notebook.
Dude, if we watched it together, we'd be pausing every 5 seconds.
The movie would be 8 hours long.
Yep.
Oh gosh, and this one's got the 15 extra minutes of crap that Steven Spielberg cut out or whatever.
Oh great. Does it have the making of where everyone is just talking about how they're just hero worshipping up the ass?
No, I think this is just the director's cut one. So there was 15 minutes of stuff Steven Spielberg cut out of the final edition that's in this one.
Okay, I've read the original script from 1994, and I've read the revised version from 1997. And boy, if you want a good laugh, read the first draft from 1994.
The 94? Ooh.
Oh my God, it is terrible. Robert Rodat. I guess I shouldn't name drop, but I just did. Robert Rodat, who wrote it, it is trash. And eventually, when he was, I guess, hired by I don't even know who to because it wasn't just because he had that initial idea. And then when he presented it to, I don't think it was Spielberg, I think it was someone else, they said, this is has potential to be really good. And I think 3 people rewrote it with him. And I think one of them was Frank Darabont, who wrote The Shawshank Redemption.
Which is an awesome movie.
Oh, yeah, I love that movie. And so they made it better. But it still has basically the meat that's in that first draft The 97 draft is a little bit better, but I think Spielberg changed a lot of it. There's things in the 97 draft that are actually that humanize the Germans really nicely.
Yeah.
But Spielberg came in and he really dehumanized them with his version. Like the one thing that's in the script I thought was very interesting was that the scene in the movie where they take out that radar nest.
Yeah.
With the German prisoner and all that. When
and
they're
the medic guys.
Yeah, the medic guys. Once they sweep the area and they clear it up, there's actually no German prisoner. The Steamboat Willie guy, like that doesn't happen in that draft. But when they kill all the Germans, then they're like going through their personal items and they find like family photos, and like one of them finds like a teddy bear that one bought for his daughter, and it's a really interesting moment where they're realizing that the mourning family of Ryan is not alone in this. Like
no, they have the realization these are people too.
Right. Yeah, and it's this really interesting. Yeah, it's this really interesting moment where it's like, you know, we're talking so much about poor Ryan and his family when it's like, what the fuck for? Like everyone is like, so many fucking people are losing people from this war. It's really. I thought that was actually really interesting, but Spielberg took that out.
Well, I mean, he got an award for it, didn't he?
He did, yeah. You know,
yep, of course he did. Of course he did. That son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and yeah, that's you never see that, even like Japanese. Like you saw it kind of a little bit with Letters from Iwo Jima and Flags of Our Fathers.
Yep.
Kind of, but still, there was this kind of underlying theme of these are the bad guys.
Yeah, and those were both directed by Clint Eastwood, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
What I think it's funny you say that, because like when it comes to Axis movies, like Letters from Iwo Jima, or another one that a lot of people like is Stalingrad, which is a German.
93. Yep.
Right. Yeah. And one thing about them that a lot of these Axis movies do is that they have the like commanders are like psychopathic, you know.
Exactly.
It's like what they're trying to say is the reason why they're bad is because their leaders are insane and all this stuff. They can't have anyone who's calling the shots be like a decent person, you know.
Right.
And that's how Letters from Iwo Jima was the same way. Like the commanders are always beating their soldiers, and then they make them commit suicide and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that one guy gets sent home because he has dysentery because the water's so bad.
Right, I remember that.
That was a real thing that I was happy they put in Letters from Iwo Jima, where the one guy's like, no, we need to do beach charges. And the guy who's like overseeing the whole thing is like, you've been pooping a lot lately. Like, yeah, the water doesn't agree with me. He's like, well, maybe you should go home. Also, it's kind of in order.
Right. At least in Letters from Iwo Jima, they depicted, I forgot the guy's name, but the main like commander that's in charge of the Japanese garrison on Iwo Jima, they depicted, they gave him sympathy, but everyone there's everyone else who was like an officer or something like that was like crazy.
I had a problem with that because I didn't like how they're like, oh, he's only sympathetic because he lived in America for like 10 years.
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not buying any of this bullshit. Yeah, this is stupid as fuck. And I was like, no. He's like, I got my silver-plated 1911 because I was a cowboy. I lived in California. You know?
Yep.
That's how they get away with it.
So, thank God that was funny.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not buying it. Bring diarrhea guy back. He'd be better.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I like the movie Downfall a lot, because it is completely unapologetic when depicting the Nazi party and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the top guys at the end, everything's collapsing around them. They know that, and you've still got this guy hanging on, and they're like, oh, "What do we do?"
Yeah,
like, that was actually like, you know, it's a meme, and you know, everybody makes fun of that scene, but that scene was actually very powerful. When I first watched it, I was like, "Oh."
When you actually like listen, like know what he's saying, yeah.
Right. It's like, okay, you know. That's when he realizes that it's fucked.
Yeah, I like how...
And if he realizes it's fucked,
at the end, so like, the end of Downfall, they show all the people, even the people that were like, that just knew about it or had nothing to do with it or thought this was going to be nothing. And it says their like execution date at the end.
Yep.
I was like, that made it pretty real for me. That kind of brought the movie a little bit more together in my book. My book was, it's like the guys are like, I hope you're joking. Don't ever talk about this again. And then somebody finds out about it and they get executed for it. And
Right.
like, that sounds like paranoid 1945 Nazi Germany.
Yep.
So
that's a good one, though. I love that one. Good shit. I can go on about war movies.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, some of them are like, so Das Boot, right?
Ooh.
it's a good one.
No,
It was
it
the best
was
one.
good. There are still some things in there that just, they put it in there and they should have just left it out or just
Yep.
not done it.
All of the,
And,
the cheering and all that.
Right, yeah. The guys didn't do that when they know they just sunk a ship or a boat with people on there and you can hear them drowning. They're not going to be like, woo! It's like...
And also, they didn't do that because there could be other shit in the area that would hear that.
Noise discipline, but hey, I mean,
Yeah.
who fucks, keep track of that. But like, it's
They should have had like a bunch of guys in the back playing polka music, and there's like an orchestra that kicks up.
Right. And it's like, but besides that, like the actual going from 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds, just bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Okay, stations, get there, and then it's all cramped. I like the way it was filmed because it makes you feel really cramped.
Oh yeah, the set was.
Which it was. Submarine.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, it's like, a guy my size is not getting through one of those things. It's just not going to happen.
When it comes to Das Boot, yeah, like I like it, but yeah, I agree that it has those issues. One other issue with that's kind of, but like I think Germany kind of has to do this almost when they do World War II movies. There is this kind of apologeticness to it, to where there's only one character who's really a Nazi, and he's like the big asshole that everyone hates.
Well, I mean, that was more common than you think, though.
It is, but at the same time, it's like
I'm surprised there was only one. Normally, everybody's a Nazi in World War II.
No, no. Okay. In the Kriegsmarine, right?
Yeah.
The U-boat commanders specifically
were Nazis.
No, don't try to finish my shit right now. They were the least. They were like the least supportive of that entire party movement out of any kind of commanding force in the entire Wehrmacht, right? And that's why when the guy that was actually drunk when he filmed this gets up and gives that speech and starts making fun, it's like, well, from what all the U-boat veterans that I've heard their, and read their kind of recollections and their stories, the ones that survived, because it wasn't that many, they said, yeah, like that, a lot of that shit went down when we were drinking. And it might not have been a speech, to just people, but it was like, they weren't on board with the Nazi kind of thing of it. They were just on board with this is Germany, we're doing a good thing, blah, 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 blah. And then half their fleet gets destroyed in 1940. And then they go, okay, well, is it still worth it? But hey, let's go. The U-boat fleet, not the entire German fleet, but like,
right.
The U-boats got fucked up in 1940 by the Brits, and then in the Mediterranean it wasn't that good either. And then so when they got back and they're like, at the beginning of this film, it's like they call them the old gang, because these guys are the ones who survived all that onslaught of shit. They're experienced, they know what's going on, and they're all just not having it. Not the political shit. They're just like, well, we know what's coming. We got to go out tomorrow.
See, yeah, I get that. I would have liked it, honestly, though, if maybe they depicted the old gang going into it fresh. They depicted at the very beginning. I think we've talked about this before, to where it's like there's never a German war film that shows their victories. Most German war films are always focused on the downfall. They're 1944 onwards. Yeah, the end. Like even like Generation War, it starts like in 1940, I think, but it
after
has this,
France. It's
right,
after all the big shit happened. Yeah.
And it has this attitude of just like everything is fucked. And like I understand that. However, if movie really wanted to have some balls, it would, or like a mini series, it would show the war from the start and show all of the German victories. So then by the point of, by the time that we're showing their downfall, it's even more impactful.
But here's the thing: is Dust required it to be that long to begin with to get the point across.
Right.
And it's like if you make it any longer, people aren't
people are going to lose interest.
But with a mini series, like you said, you could do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if we were going
nowadays,
and that's how I would do it. Yeah, it would be a mini series, and I would love to see that, honestly. But no, like, I mean, Das Boot is great and everything like that. But yeah, I felt like it still kind of had some of those, you know, those attitudes that were like, it seemed very like, you know, in order to get away with this, we have to put some of these things in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been really well if it showed like the Germans winning. One of them things, you know. Like,
No, I'm not talking
the movie came out, you know. So
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, you know, with certain, and I understand certain things, but like I felt that, like, yeah, of course the big, like, you know, pompous asshole that everyone hates in the movie is the only one who's a Nazi. It's like, well, I think there would be probably more, like you said, there would be probably more, you know, maybe a few more in there. And not everyone is going to, you know, so yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and then that's the thing is, like, I think now, if somebody from the U.S. were to make something that showed the German victories, which is like, it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just it is what it was.
It is what it is, yeah.
You know, like the Germans, they were victorious a lot at the beginning. There's a reason why World War II kicked off in the European theater. Like, there's a reason. It's because they were covering so much ground so quickly and so effectively. Yeah, it's like it didn't just happen and then, you know, the world came and squashed this cockroach. It was like, you know,
well, you look in like a year, they had basically everything except Switzerland.
Right, but think about it. I mean, like, if someone was going to go off World War II history based on like movies, they would say, why the fuck are everyone talking about these Germans? They always get beat every time. Every time we see them, they're always like in shambles. Like, so yeah, it's like there's never ever been like a depiction where it's like show. And I'm not saying it would be, you know, to promote, you know, anything, but just to show it how it was.
No, it's not that. It's just, but it was very effective. Their strategies were very effective, and it was it was insane. And then, like, one movie that could have done it, or two movies that could have done it and didn't do it, was Patton and The Big Red One.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because Patton, they came in and they showed at the beginning, these guys just got their asses kicked at Kasserine Pass.
Yeah.
Like, but they never showed it on film. It's like, no, the Americans got their asses kicked, like, hard. Like, they lost almost everything. And then in the Big Red One, it's like they show Kasserine Pass, or what is supposed to be Kasserine Pass, and then it's just like it cuts through. Yeah, we got defeated there. All these guys are still alive. Okay, and it's like the aftermath. It's like, no, why don't you show how effective the German strategy was, and the generals that they had in command, kicking the fuck out of the Americans who everybody else was scared of, and like, oh, these guys are going to come in here. They're going to be, you know, the best fighting force because of World War I and all that shit, and they get their shit shoved in. So far, it's coming out their mouths, and they're going, huh.
Yeah, that's how it was. I mean, that's true. Like, fucking, every American film is always like 1944 onwards.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Bernd just commented, I agree with what you're saying, Bernd, and I understand that reason. And, but you know, I'm a kind of guy who likes to take chances.
I also just realized this from talking about this. Have you ever noticed how, like, most of the, like, World War II war movies are all about, like, the same three battles?
Yeah.
It's all like Normandy, the Battle of Berlin, and Stalingrad, and that's like the three big things, and that's it.
I'd say four: the Battle of the Bulge,
I was going to say that.
So, well, you know what I mean? They're all of like the same handful of battles, which is why nobody ever hears about how the Germans totally like wrecked Kiev, because that's not something anyone's interested in.
Right. It's like, and they also like so when they went into Poland, I mean, granted, Poland was not expecting that. It was, and then they also had the Soviets coming in from the east. I don't blame them. So the Germans took approximately 20,000 casualties. The number can be argued, whatever. That's from my research. don't take that, as a fact, but that's what I've researched. And then when they went to France in May of 1940, they took 140,000 casualties. Sure, France knew what Germany was doing. They had just done it in Poland and Denmark and Holland. And then they were like, okay, we're prepared. And Germany took that many casualties and still overran what was an actual, as far as the fighting force, we're not getting into the political, like the upper management of France and the political part, which they've always had a problem with. The fighting force of France was not a force to be reckoned with. It was like, or it was a force to be reckoned with. I'm sorry.
That's what I was telling Mike while you were gone, actually. I was like,
yeah, we started talking about that
shit. I'm like, France in 1939 had the largest standing army on Earth.
Yep, and they had the Mas 36. They had the newer equipment. They had, all that stuff. They fucked up on a lot of things, but that was because of the upper leadership and the politics that got involved with that. But so they took 140,000 casualties, but they still managed to take over France in like 3 weeks. Like that says a lot about the ambition, the tactics, the technology. But like Brian was saying, when they did that, once they took over France, their armor was depleted, their infantry was very lacking, and their artillery was, it was like they had spread so much and spent so much. It's like, okay, they should have taken time to kind of relax, and then, resupply everything, but they just kept going. Let's go invade Russia. Let's go invade,
They should have had some recovery time, but that would have been like defeatist.
Right. And so, that's the reason they didn't invade the UK is because they were so oh, he's shooting a shotgun. Jesus Christ. No, I was like, what the fuck is that? But no, it's fine.
Someone shooting at you, Mike?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm paranoid, but like, no, it's just my neighbor shooting. But they could have invaded the UK, but they were so over, and their air force too got destroyed. Like they didn't have the supplies and everything, and so it was weird. But yeah, it's. I mean, it is what it is. It happened. I'm glad they lost. To be honest with you.
Fair.
Yep. But and like I'm reading the comments too while we're doing this, and
yep.
Yeah, Tab says here, I think people have trouble looking at World War II from an unbiased viewpoint depicting the war. Yeah, and it's like, I completely understand. Yeah, I think they do too, and that's why, like, to bring this back to like my movie Reveille, like that's kind of the approach that we're trying to go against is that, because like, what is the point, honestly? What is the point of doing a World War II movie? I mean, is it just for pure entertainment, or are we trying to fucking say something about history? I don't know. I think that like, because I'm saying I'm doing this video right now with another YouTuber about Hacksaw Ridge, and it's like, what the fuck is the point of this? Because it just seems like pure entertainment. It doesn't really seem like it serves a purpose when it comes to saying something about history. I mean, I guess it kind of notifies people about the subject it's talking about.
Sure, exactly. Yeah. That's it.
And that's it.
Well, then it's just entertainment value after that.
Then it's just entertainment. Yeah, it doesn't serve any purpose. And that's really what I do not want to fall into when it comes to war movies.
And for what we got going, not to get too much into it, but like, it's going to be something that a lot of people, whether they knew it or not, are going to be like, okay, that was very relatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, I could see myself in any one of those guys' positions. Anyone, German or American, I could see myself, and it's like, interesting. And it's not. There's no underlying like political message. There's no, it's none of that shit. It's just, here's what happened.
Yep, and that's it. And
that's the kind of thing is, but we're also trying to teach you what it looked like too. Is like, this is what these guys would have been carrying. This is what these guys would have been wearing. How they would have walked. How they would have talked.
This is how Audie Murphy's dog tags actually look.
Yeah.
Yep. But like, it's gonna be like, people are gonna be talking very realistically. It's not gonna be like some fake Southern accent or some fake, Bavarian accent. It's gonna be somebody from Bavaria is gonna watch this film and be like, "Oh, that guy's got a Bavarian accent completely. Like, it's fine. Like, he's from Bavaria."
Yep.
Or that guy's from Braunschweig, or that guy's from Saxony. Like, okay, it's you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to trick your mind into going, okay, well, I can just deal with that because I know it's fake, but whatever. It's going to be just a human thing where people from all over the world will be able to watch this and go, okay, that's unfortunately how warfare is.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's just, it sucks. Nobody wins.
No,
politicians throwing bodies at each other till they get what they want.
Right.
Yeah. Well, okay, someone said something. Okay, Tab said something interesting here. He said, I think it would be more of a compelling story, so to speak, if more of our losses were shown in the movies. I think it can show how strong people can really be when unified, I suppose. And so it's funny he says that because I was thinking about this today because we were talking about Omaha Beach, and I know a lot about the history of Omaha Beach. In fact, that's one of my projects I eventually want to do is a mini series about the Battle of Omaha Beach, showing American, German, and French perspectives, not choosing any side. And it's all historically accurate. All of the characters in it are real people and everything like that. And when I've researched Omaha Beach, there are a lot of very interesting people that were involved in it, and a lot of them were killed, and they were killed there. And I just thought, why not just have that be, a main character, and without having a huge build-up and payoff, they just fucking die, And
right, exactly. Yep, and that's the thing is like in anything like. So one thing I will give Band of Brothers credit for, right, is there was no lead up to when certain main characters died who were actually existed and then died. It was just because there was a lot of times where I was like, like in the Battle of the Bulge, you see Skip Muck and Pinkala get just, they're done. They're gone.
Yeah,
right?
That's it.
And it's like, that guy's been there since Tekoa. Those two guys have been there since Tekoa. And they're just gone within a second. And it's like, huh.
That's how it is.
What the fuck? But so that was kind of like that shock factor of, well, this isn't just a movie. Like, don't get attached to any of the characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Observe them and kind of get into the character, but don't get too attached because it's kind of like Game of Thrones. It's kind of like Game of Thrones too, like more condensed. Like you start liking a character and all of a sudden, bam, they're dead, and you're like, what the fuck? Well, that's shitty.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, and but like because you can watch war movies and you know who's gonna die.
Right.
Almost immediately too, though. Like before any fighting actually happens, you're like, that guy's dead.
Right, because like he's not a main character; he's a supporting role. He's there to be the main character's friend and
he's
stuff like that.
He's too friendly. Yeah, he's dead.
Right. But, like, if we just, if we did like with Omaha, like the Omaha Beach movie or miniseries, if it was just like presented as, okay, it's an ensemble. We're going from one guy to the next, and like, okay, this is this guy, and like we seem to, and all of a sudden he's gone, and it's like that's just one less guy you're gonna see now.
Right, because that's how it is. Like in real life, it's like you're in a group of guys that you're very close with, right? You like in Band of Brothers, you went to training with them, even if you're a replacement. Like so in Reveille, Audie Murphy was a replacement in Africa. They didn't see a lot of action there. Then they go to Sicily, then it starts kicking off, and then it's like, okay, you get very close to these people, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, my best friend is dead. Like that, it's just that's it.
Yep.
One day it's just it was we were doing what we were supposed to be doing, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's over.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, and that's kind of like something that a lot of war films and series don't get. Like Devin said, it's very obvious, like, okay, well, that guy's gonna die, this guy, whatever, because it's obvious to a certain point, to different degrees.
Yes.
But it's like you want it to be a surprise because it's a surprise in real life. Same with the Germans, like. In Reveille, like you look at all the Germans and you're rooting for some people because I was.
Yep. Yeah, everything's fine until it's not.
And then you don't know, and then all of a sudden it's a bad situation that happens, and then boom, it's like
Absolutely.
Fuck. Why? Yeah. Why is that? And
because that guy shot it.
Yeah, because there's nothing you can do about it at that point. And one thing that's really interesting about Audie Murphy's story, talking about best friends dying and such. So yeah, in Reveille. We include Laddie Tipton and
that's kind of what I was talking about. That's kind of Yep.
Yeah, Leo Kelly. And if you read so in the 1955 movie, this isn't done very well, but in the book, when you read about, when Laddie Tipton died, he was killed in southern France, and he was up there with Murphy. They were trying to take up some positions, and eventually he got shot, and he fell over, and was just
onto Murphy.
Dead. Right, onto him, because Audie Murphy wouldn't get up. He was like, stay down, and he's like, no, and then he got shot and then fell on top of him, and he was just done at that point. And Murphy afterwards, after he'd cleared the area and stuff, he went back to his body and sat there for a minute, and then he just, well, I gotta go, and he picked up his stuff.
He also blacked out. He said later on he blacked out because he doesn't know what happened from the time his best friend fell on him dead, and then the time that because he was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for what he did, but he blacked out. He doesn't know what happened. He goes, here's what they told me happened, and here's what I read in the citation.
Yes,
but I don't remember that. And
of course,
and that's very powerful because it's when you're that emotional and your body just goes into that mode. And he did some crazy shit, like really stupid shit.
Yeah, he should have been dead.
Or was it all just an elaborate fabrication and they're taking advantage of some guy?
I don't know, man.
It's the American government here we're talking about.
No, Audie literally said, he goes, I don't remember what actually happened from the time that Laddie fell on me and until the time I went back. He goes, I literally don't remember. I read what the citation said and what the guys told me happened, but he said, I don't remember what I did in that particular scenario.
Yeah,
he remembers the rest of them, pretty clearly. But like he goes, I do not remember what happened. I know I had a machine gun, and that's it.
I remember in his book he says the guys later told me that I was yelling for them to come join me, like he was like yelling back at them to come join him or something. He said he didn't remember any of that. One thing I thought was interesting, after Laddie died, he couldn't do it. He just had to leave him there, And he caught up with Leo Kelly. He caught up with Leo eventually, and he said, what happened up there?" And he was telling me, he said, Laddie's dead, and Leo's reaction, he just was like, "Really? Like, of all, like, Jesus Christ! Like, I gotta lose someone else I've been close to now,
Right? Yeah.
It wasn't like he was like, "Oh my God!" Like, this is. He was just like, "Jesus Christ." This fucking war, man. All right, whatever.
Yeah,
that was his reaction.
That's how a lot of people that I've met from several different conflicts, when they deal with a loss like that, they get pissed, and it's like, what the fuck, really? Why him?
Yeah.
Now, it's like it's a very non-conveyed emotion in war films because people are acting too hard. You know what I mean?
They have like this, just, oh my God, it's like, no, I found that, when I read about this stuff, obviously, like, you kind of know it more firsthand and stuff, but like when I read about it, it is a very like pissed off reaction.
It's anger. It's anger, and then it's like it manifests itself as like, what the fuck? And I haven't experienced that firsthand in Iraq, but like I experienced it when we got back, and then a friend of mine died in a car wreck, and I'm like, we just made it through
things you could live through, and
we just made it through a year there. Yeah. You roll your fucking car. And you die at 21. What the fuck? And it's like you get really pissed off. But I never had to experience that firsthand. Thank Christ. Like in that zone. But I know a lot of people who have, and they're just like, what the fuck? Why? Like, why? And it's
That's kind of the emotion you'll go for in Reveille when you'll see the people dying. It's like, really? Oh, geez, man, this sucks. Fuck,
Why? What the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Another one? For what? Like, it's just kind of like, that's what you think when you experience any kind of loss. Like, why? Like, why that person?
Yeah.
And it's never the asshole. Let's be honest. It's never the asshole.
Well, it's because nobody cares about the asshole.
Well, right. But it's always like the guy that everybody likes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what the fuck? And so a really cool, well, not cool, but like a raw depiction of a loss like that, and seeing somebody a lot of people like, is, you ever see the documentary called Restrepo?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. I actually want to see it.
It's very intense, so don't watch it before bed. It's like
it's kind of deep and disturbing in a lot of ways.
So they lose somebody a couple times, but the one scene where like the camera crews, you can tell they're kind of shaky because it was very close. What happened? It was very quick, and they lose somebody, and you've got people that are coming up like, "Who's hit?" And they're like, "So and so." He's like, "No, what?" You know,
it's like the nicest guy.
And and then people react differently. Some people are really pissed off. Some people actually do break down. And so that's the thing that war movies, they get it kind of close, but like it's just, that's something you really can't replicate. You really can't do it because it's such a raw and visceral reaction to loss. It's very hard to replicate, and that's why I don't really fault anybody in film that hasn't gotten that, because unless you're shooting a documentary.
Yeah,
that's or really unless hard. They're doing it like Restrepo actually was, where they like got the actual people who were there and like actual footage that those people took.
Well, no, those reporters were embedded with them. Those reporters took
filmed the whole thing there as it happened. Yeah.
Yep. And then they were filming the guys interviewing them, and they had been through. Yeah, I think it was on Netflix for years. It was
on Netflix. Yeah.
I don't know if it is now, but like that's what VPNs are for. But So that's a worthy one to check out, because I have a lot of friends who are in Afghanistan, and they said, yeah, like around that time, like, so that was I think a year before I was in Iraq. That was around the time, but like I knew people who were there at that particular spot after the fact and said, yeah, that was not a fun place. And so they said that's a pretty accurate depiction of my experience, not my experience, but I'm talking like through my friends that I went to basic with and that I met later on in life and everything. They're like, yeah, that's a pretty accurate representation of what it was like.
And the base they have is like, granted, I was there a lot later. It's a real steaming pile of dog shit. A lot of the like fobs in Afghanistan.
But that wasn't a fob. That was a cop. That was like a literal campsite that you dig a fucking hole into.
It's nothing. It's like a hillside, like the top of a hill they leveled off, and it's like, this is where you live now.
And they dig down and they put sandbags on top of it.
Yep. Hesco bastion, like 20 Hesco bastions. Not even that many. Like 20.
Dude, they didn't even, I don't think they had those there. They just had sandbags. Like it was so small.
Hesco bastions there.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. But anyway.
Not a lot of them, and only on one side of their camp, though.
Right. But anyway, so that's a pretty accurate, because it's a documentary and it was live and it was there. But other than that, like, that's why I don't fault anybody in war movies for getting the reaction to a death wrong.
Right.
Unless it's like so egregiously fucking basic and like, well, shit, let's go on. It's like, well, some people do that, but most people are going to have a reaction.
Fair. Like you said, these are people that you've known for probably at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
At least, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So like you've got some people didn't form a lot of bonds and connections, There's always the groups, the little cliques and stuff, but like most everybody knows something about everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
In the unit by that time.
I remember when the first draft of Saving Private Ryan I was talking about earlier, when I read it, the first draft,
94 one.
Yeah, the 94 draft. One thing that was kind of weird in it, I don't know how to describe it, is that there's this thing in the script that's not in the movie. They cut this out for the second draft. In the first draft, there's this whole thing to where when someone dies, if someone like brings up like their name, Captain Miller will be like, who are you talking about? Like he'll say like, that person's made up. That's not a person, or something like that. And
that's pretty drastic. Yeah,
that's way of like coping with it. I think it was more like, I think Tom Hanks did an okay job of that though, kind of portraying it as a joke, the death, as to kind of lighten it up a bit. But
they changed it for the movie. Like in that first draft, like they verbally say that, like, I think it's in the first draft, it's the Caparzo, Vin Diesel, he's the first one to die.
Yep.
And then like they take the dog tags, and the Opham character is like, what are we going to do with Caparzo now? And then like Miller's like, who's Caparzo? Have you heard of Caparzo? And then like Sergeant Horvath is like, I've never heard of anyone named Caparzo before. And like they do that with like a couple of characters. And at the very end, when Horvath dies, I remember like it's a big moment, and they're like, what do we do now? And what about, Horvath is gone, and then Tom Hanks is, Captain Miller is like, who is Horvath? I've never heard of a Horvath before, and it's supposed to be like this devastating moment. That's what I'm saying. It's terrible.
Yeah, you've been with this guy since Anzio, right? Yeah, and that it's apparently
he's a myth. Yeah.
That's not how people cope. That's
yeah.
I mean, if they do, like the rest of the people are gonna be like, fuck you, you're out of your mind.
Get out of here, you fucking psychopath.
Right. So I was like, I'm glad they changed that part.
Yeah, that's Jesus Christ. But yeah, I mean, in this film, it's gonna be pretty cool. Like your little film, is
our film.
There's gonna be like, well, it's like making a war though. You're the general, and it's like making a war. Who do you think said that to me? Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, you froze up there for a second.
Yep. And okay, yeah, but I said you're the general. It's like making a war.
That's true.
It's pretty easy to make a war if you're a general.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do what we can to make it seem like this is as real as it can be for these actors.
It'll be good. Mike's director hat? Is it going to be like a general hat that he could wear to show that he's the most important person on set?
We should get him like a fully fucking blinged out like Dwight Eisenhower.
Eisenhower, like
I'll show up looking like MacArthur with the pipe in my mouth.
Yeah, the corn cob pipe and your aviators and your
choking on the fucking smoke because you don't smoke. Be like, hey guy. Shit,
I have returned.
Yeah. Just wearing the khakis, looking all shitty. Yeah.
You guys would probably slap me in the head if I did
that. No, I just feel like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I'm just gonna go to LAX and get on the fucking plane and leave. Like, we're done.
Well, Mike's gonna be wearing sergeant stripes.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're gonna be doing that.
You definitely got to get a general hat then. Like, come on now.
We're wearing a fucking general hat with sergeant stripes.
Yeah, just everything on it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. I've got a guy that was a friend of Michael's that's also doing short films, and he's also a history nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say historian and then nerd, history nerd, not historian. Starting to sound like Baron. I'm starting to say like I'm gonna start saying develop next, like fucking Baron does.
Develop.
Fucking kraut. But anyway, so no, Brian and I are gonna be having a fun time training the guys to get into character and everything and like do movements and everything correctly. Like again, it's not gonna be like Dale Dye's version of boot camp because we don't have egos to fulfill,
Or monkey bars, don't forget that.
Right, but it's still gonna be fun, like going out on set and doing that, and then here's the thing: is like it's gonna be a lot of work. We know that, we get that. It's gonna be a shitload of work, and things are gonna get done. It's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine, but it's also gonna be really fucking fun.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
Like
it's like not done yet.
Oh, here's the thing: is like when Michael's in a pissy mood, I'll go up and I'll goose him in the ass, just fucking grab that ass right next to the taint. Not quite on it, but I'll grab next to it.
Ooh.
Just to wake him up a bit. Be like, hey, we're here for you, buddy.
One of the ones where you like get under the cheek and like the perfect crevice of your hand,
Yeah, that's like, and then if he's still pissy, I just go. Yeah, that smells like fear to me. Get rid of that.
Thanks for warning me, though.
Oh, now it's ruined. He's gonna be like.
I warned you about the least invasive tactic I have of relieving.
Okay.
So, like,
I mean, that's true. He's got to punch me in the dick like 7 times.
Yeah, we're at 7.
We are.
Oh, I'm keeping count.
Me too.
We're back on, and it's again the dick. I'm not gonna hit you in the balls. That'd be a savage move.
In the dick, yeah.
It's gonna look like your dick is broken. Like
you're a gentleman and a scholar, Mike. I'll tell you that much.
But it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good because it's gonna look like you had some chick riding you and then you popped out. It didn't go back in, and then your dick's broken. You know what I mean?
It's gonna literally look like an aubergine emoji.
No, it's gonna be a lot more flayed than that. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be good.
You're gonna put like a razor blade glove on or something? Like
no, I'm just gonna hit you really hard so I get that mashing action going. The mashing action.
It's gonna look like it got slammed in the door.
Oh.
Several times.
Oh,
But it's not gonna be that bad. I mean, you'll recover.
I'll get through it.
Your dick might kind of point downwards from here on out. But hey, it'll be fine. It'll be
fine. It'll even out.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
It'll be like the Hydra. It'll grow back twice as strong.
And twice as fucking deformed.
Yeah, twice as messed up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's not going to be good. Trust me.
Oh God.
But yeah, so we're at 7, Devin. So like that's 7, Devin.
There we go. Look at that.
Don't fuck with me anymore. So let's keep it at 7 because I can remember that 7, Devin.
I mean, now. I'm probably gonna mess up honestly before next time.
Well, that's manifesting a fuck up.
Well, you don't like when I say aubergine or pamplemousse, even though that's its name.
That's not deserving of a cock punch.
You literally gave me a cock punch for saying pamplemousse earlier. That's how we went.
It was the way you said it, though. You were a condescending half French fuck when you said that.
Pamplemousse.
No, it was the context around it.
Did this happen while you were there, Devin, with Mike? Did he physically hit you in the dick?
No.
Don't you say a fucking word, Devin.
Oh God.
No, I swear. Don't you say a
Nothing happened.
You fell, right?
Yeah, right into a doorknob.
Yeah, several times.
That's why that one in Mike's house is loose.
Which one?
I don't know.
A lot of them are, but
A lot of them are.
Yeah, let's back on the story. Yeah, you fell. You fell into doorknobs.
Yep.
We're good.
Doorknob. Yep. I walked into a doorknob.
Someone said in the comments here, remind Mike not to train me.
Oh, I'm a pretty shitty trainer. Like it's not going to be good. Like Michael's gonna when we get on set, he's gonna expect like all these guys to just know what they're doing and move well and everything, and they're gonna get down there and they're gonna be like on their phone like, yeah, so much shit, and it's like Michael will be like, what the fuck are you doing? Didn't you train? Yeah, we train these guys on how to be fucking hardcore, awesome guys that can stream on YouTube for the rest of their lives.
So they can write a story about their traumatic experience.
You're gonna experience an outburst.
Yeah, they're gonna
be happens, man.
they're gonna be posted on Instagram while they're walking up, and they're gonna be like, "Just hold on for a second, Michael. I'm finishing up my hashtags. I'm finishing up my tags in this post."
Slap that phone right out of their hand.
Oh my God, dude.
No, I'm gonna freely allow phones or working. I'm gonna freely allow that, so especially when we get up to shoot. Michael can be like not stressed because he's like, oh, these guys are like me. They're on their phone all the time, and it's all good. And it's a laissez-faire kind of training.
It is California, and everyone is a bit narcissistic.
Yeah, well, it's all fun and games until somebody gets bit by a rattlesnake.
And it's also a good thing that I'm from Wisconsin and not full of myself. So
yeah, or it gets mauled by a fucking cougar. Because
the animal or the human being.
Yeah.
No, if it's a human being, then we're in business. But when talking about the animal,
first
because
one, then the other. How's that sound?
Right, because there are like some places up there in the hills where there are like cougar sightings. Actual
sightings. I only care if
that'd be cool because if California would allow me to carry a fucking sidearm, I'd bring some heat out there and be like, well, at least we have somewhat of a chance.
But hey, choke them out, Mike.
I'll rely on the bayonets and the fucking prop M1s we've got to defend us. Hey, we'll all circle around the son of a bitch and be like, well, somebody's got to stab this fucker. That'll be. I guess that's something I hadn't thought of is the wildlife. But like, hey,
they're gonna be like, no, it's a beautiful animal. Don't hurt it.
Well, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt somebody that I need, to act tomorrow. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't care about the person. I care about the fact that they have to act tomorrow.
Yeah. So watch out for the spiders and the snakes and the scorpions and the cougars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're out there.
Well, I wish I could fucking just tramp on out there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and open carry a fucking 357.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if anybody had to sleep in the dirt.
Oh well.
If we ever get the chance to make another World War II movie in another location that's not California, then we'll be able to do that.
Oh yeah, I definitely will carry it too. I'll be like, because like if I'm going out, even around here, right? Honest to God, if I drive 5 minutes and I go out on a hike on one of the trails, I'm packing heat. Not for people. We have fucking bears around here.
Bears
we have big cats, and it's like, yeah, I'm packing some fucking heat.
Right.
And sometimes I carry a rifle if I'm going like way back into the shit, and I can't run away really quickly. But it's fine. Like if a cop shows up after I go, hey, I just fucking shot a bear and whatever, DNR shows up. Why are you carrying a gun? Because it's an open carry state. Oh, okay. Were you hunting? No. Bam. It's that easy. It's like, no, I was not hunting. I was defending myself.
Right,
okay, cool.
Like, do you have a witness? Poacher? And then goes to prison for like 2 years.
That would be some shit, wouldn't it? If I like actually was out there just kind of walking around and showing people around, and I had like a fucking AR-15 or some shit on my chest, and all of a sudden a bear like starts charging us, and I'm like, dump the mag, the bear's dead, and I go, hey, I just killed a bear because it was attacking myself, and oh, well, go ahead and clear your weapon. You're gonna go to jail for the night.
There's been people here that have done that. They've defended themselves from wildlife, and they get taken to jail. So
you're also in a fucking communist state. So
I am in a very liberal state. Yes. I think it was like
Minnesota.
Minnesota's very liberal.
It's so where I live out here, kind of in the country in Idaho. You can shoot an animal if it's on your property. Like, it's whatever. Like, if you want to, it doesn't. You don't even need like a reason to. It's like you can just do it.
That's the same thing here, and I think it's the same thing here. Do not quote me. Anybody that lives in Wisconsin. I have to look at the law.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike. Next bald eagle you see,
they're really good eating, man. Woo! I'm just kidding. Again, YouTubers, feds that are watching, no. The bald eagle is my favorite fucking animal. I would never dream of fucking hurting one at all. I admire the shit out of them. I've never hurt one in my life. I'm being serious too. I've never. I would never fuck with them because karma's a bitch. You fuck with a bald eagle, you're gonna have a mark on you, and then the rest of the bald eagles you see in your life are gonna be like, it'd be kind of funny if 5 of us ganged up on that piece of shit and just clawed him to death and tore him apart, ate some of him, and then fucking he couldn't be buried.
They just look at you and they know.
Right. No, I'm it was a joke. Ha 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 ha.
We got 2 big ass owls living out here on our property right now. And,
they're loud.
During the nighttime they screech like none other.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Right.
It's kind of eerie.
Oh yeah. The other night I went downstairs and all of a sudden I just hear poof against the side of the house. I'm like, and like some on top of the ceiling. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I go outside and I just hear screeching left and right. And I shine the flashlight on top of the house. The owl, which wingspan is like fucking 5 to 6 feet when it flies off. It flies off and it has like a rat in its talons. And it's good eating. Fuck the rat. Yeah. Good job, guys. Good job. I'm just like, during the nighttime they go hunting and they make a shitload of noise.
Yeah, they like if you ever if people in the chat have ever been out like up in the Nordwoods, because Idaho is pretty Nordwoods, and there's animals up here. Like I've been sleeping in the woods down in the southeast and shit. There's some weird sounds, don't get me wrong, but up in the Nordwoods in the United States across the board, there are some animals that literally, like the Wendigo is like very believable if you've been sleeping out in the woods, because you're like, that's a sound that should not exist. That's so terrifying.
That is horrible.
It's so weird.
Horrifying noises. We're like, what most animals sound like. People that have lived up here in the middle of nowhere know what a lot of the animals sound like. But every now and then you're like, I have no fucking idea what that is. And it scares the shit out of you.
One of the funnest ones I ever experienced was down at we were doing annual training at Fort McCoy in Wisconsin, which is down by between Toma and Sparta in Wisconsin. So it's down in the southern part of the state, but it's also the south western part of the state. Well, kind of not really southwest, more central southwest. Yeah. Anyway, so it's a lot of forest and a lot of ticks, of course. And we were out there for our annual training, so we were out there sleeping in the field for 2 weeks because infantry, woo, fun. And one of the first nights, we pitched our little new tents that we had, those little single tents with which I actually didn't mind. I think those are pretty cool, like the little single tents with the equipment cover. And we had gotten done doing a whole fucking day of just shit. We were tired, and it was hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock. It was like humid. It's like today was, right?
Today sucked.
Today sucked, and so that's what the day was. And then we get back, we're in the ACUs and all that shit, and I'm like, oh god. I'm like, well, it's gonna be cold at about 3 a.m, so I'm not gonna strip down completely, but I'll just sleep on the top of my sleeping bag, right? Anyway, long story short, I wake up at about, I don't know, probably 2 a.m. to, and I'm like, what in the fuck? Is somebody having a bad dream? What's going on? And I look, and the moon is shining perfectly, like right by my head, and I see the outline of a very big cat. I don't know what kind of cat it was, but this fucking thing was literally a foot away from my fucking tent. And I'm like, and I'm like, I went for my rifle, and I'm like, I don't have any fucking, I have blanks. What the fuck is this gonna do? Like, Jesus. I still grabbed it, and I'm like, well, at least I have something to club it with. And so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, it takes a couple steps, and it's like sniffing around my tent. It hits my tent. The whiskers are like rubbing against my tent. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, no. This is not how I'm going to go out. Like, this is just not going to happen.
Don't worry, Mike. You had the best camouflage ever developed money could buy to protect you from it.
Correct. The tent was the same thing. And so this thing, I'm like, whew. And then all of a sudden I see the head come up, and I see the big whiskers, and I'm like, oh God, like the silhouette, man, it's through the tent with the moon. And all of a sudden it kind of walks, and then I hear it fucking with somebody else, and they go, what the fuck? Oh, and I'm like, shh. And when I did that, when I said shh, the cat just goes, Row! And I'm like, I didn't say that, but I'm like, and also I hear the other person is just quiet. And I'm like, yep, just shut the fuck up, please. Don't. And then there's no rustling, there's no movement. This fucking thing was walking through because it smelled all the food we had. You know, like all the like beef jerky and the shit we had bought before we went down there. And it smelled as food, and then it was like moving on to the tents. And then I heard it go to another part, like another, I don't know if it was another platoon or whatever. And it let out the big screech, like the wow. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on? And then I hear a bunch of rustling, and I'm like, okay, they got it taken care of.
That was it.
I was just like, I went back to sleep. I'm like, that's fine. It's away from me.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I got two stories. When I was doing the combat footage stuff, the training up here at the combat center, we arrived one time out by the lane. It was like 4 a.m, I think, when we got there, and the sun was rising. And just as we're sitting there waiting, we're waiting for the military guys, the unit or whatever, to pass through so we could film them. So we're just sitting there completely isolated. There's no one around, and we hear like just over the horizon, like like that, and we were like, what the fuck is that? And it just started like this crazy cackling, and then eventually it started to go like it switched to like ow, like that. Sort of thing. Yeah, they were coyotes. And we were just like, fuck. Like, if we need to, because the truck was right there, so we'll jump in the truck if we see them approaching us.
So there's never just one coyote either.
No, there's always 20 to 30 to 40 to 50.
They're pack animals. Yeah, but we didn't see them, but we could hear them doing that for a while. They were like, yeah. Then they would go like, ow, like that. It was just like, fuck.
They're just like communicating, moving, because that same time we were down there, same thing happened, and it was like, okay, that's off in the distance. We have Yotes all over here. Like Devin, the first time he ever came here, there was a pack of Yotes, and then they moved away from us. But it's like, when you're sleeping in a tent with no actual ammunition, and you hear that sound, and you hear a bunch of them, and then they get closer. It's like, well, and they get really close, and you're like, you can hear them walking. It's like, why did I like voluntarily sign up to do this again? Like, what the fuck?
Because infantry, Mike. Come on now.
Because infantry. Yeah.
You signed up to get eaten by a pack of coyotes in the middle of bumfuck Wisconsin. All right, like.
Yeah.
Another funny story. This is when I was in film school. When I was going to film school. So a guy I knew who was in my class, had a bad breakup. And so he was all flustered.
This is always a very fun start to a story.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was like 23. He was like 18, you know, so it was like the first time he's experienced it, and he was just like, fuck
losing
my life.
his shit. Yep.
Yeah. And so what he did was, because he couldn't take it, he just threw everything in his car and he just drove north to go camping to forget about it. However, what he did is he packed an insane amount of food in his backpack.
Oh yeah.
And like, I mean, gas station stuff, like stuff that's just, fucking summer sausage and all that crap,
The snow food.
Right. And so
the gas station gut bomb the burrito.
Yeah.
The gut bomb.
Stuff that really stinks. So he loaded his backpack up with his shit, and he took his tent and he just drove out in the middle of Northern California in the wilderness, up in the redwoods, and stopped out there. And when he was out there, he set up his tent, and while he was he was laying down, getting ready to go to bed, and then he realized, wait a second, this is California. There's like grizzly bears all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying a shitload of food with me. Fuck.
Yeah.
So what he did was he got out of his tent and he took his backpack that held his food in it, and he climbed a tree and put it up in the tree, and then climbed back down and went back in his tent. And he said that while he was in the tent, he could just hear bears trying to climb that tree the whole night to get the food.
Fuck yeah.
He said that the entire time, he was out there for like 3 days. He just opened the tent just to stick his dick out and piss, and then zipped it back up. He didn't leave.
I'm sure that was really good therapy for what he just went through. Yeah.
Maybe so, yeah.
But yeah, it turns out fear is a great motivator to get over it.
He came back and he was telling us this, and we were like on the floor laughing at him, and he was
what a fucking idiot.
You should have been like, so you forgot about what's her face, right?
Yeah. You're like, dude, you almost got fucking killed. He was like, I know, it was terrifying. I'm like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
You should have just had him read the 94 script and been like, her? Never heard of her. Don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's how you get through things. That's how you cope.
That's how you cope. Oh my God.
Every ex you've dated is a myth.
I do miss college sometimes because of shit like that. People doing insanely stupid things.
Like, yeah, it's like you just go, what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on. But it's fun because you do dumb shit too. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna try to. It's like people. I think the average age expectancy back in the day was like 50. I'm like, well, was that because of disease and lack of modern medicine, or was that because people were just dipshits and died early?
The latter.
Yeah, before all the bubble wrap and bike helmets and everything existed, and cars didn't have seatbelts, so like if it hit anything, you just died.
Going out in the wilderness, not prepared with any weapons whatsoever, getting mauled the shit out of by a fucking wild animal, and they never find your body, and well, I guess he's fucking dead.
Yep.
I've known stories to where like I've heard stories to where like certain people that walk like pit bulls and such like that are not dog people. They end up getting mauled by the pit bull or something like that. Like,
yeah, a pit bull is a land shark.
Pit bulls are great dogs. They never hurt anybody. They're not.
Oh, but they're only like 50% of the dog-related hospitalizations in the country. And a lot of that is spooned on because everyone is like, oh, they're such a nice dog, so I'm going to get one. So now they've like exploded in population and everyone has one. And it turns out that maulings are still a thing and they're higher than ever.
You know what that reminds me of? If you're a 90s kid, you'll know about when the craze of 101 Dalmatians.
Yep.
And in the 90s, there was this humongous boom for fucking parents to buy their kids Dalmatian
puppies.
However, Dalmatians are like not to be fucked with when they get older, and
they're guard dogs. They were made to guard things, like
right. So like when these dogs were growing up, they were like hurting these kids and shit like that, and they were just like a fucking nightmare to deal with. Apparently, it was like a real thing that was an actual problem.
Dude, in the 90s, speaking of that, I got bit through the ass cheek, not in the ass. I got bit through the ass cheek by a Doberman. Right?
Ooh.
I don't know what the fuck I did to her. I was walking away, and she came after me.
Right? That's why you turned around.
You turned tail.
The fight instinct.
Right. And so now I own a half Doberman, and he is the biggest pussy I've ever met in my fucking life.
Well, yeah, because he's half horse, and horses are retarded.
Yeah, well, I mean that's fine. Devin, did I tell you the results? Like, that we got?
Yeah.
Yeah, half coonhound, half fucking Doberman.
I could see it.
Well, he's two types of coonhound. He's half, or no, he's 49 point something percent Doberman, 30 or 29 point something percent the walking or the treeing walker coonhound.
Okay.
And so that breed was specifically bred to tree raccoons, so people could shoot them or whatever. And the guy that bred that breed, or his last name was Walker, right? They're very small, they're very lean, and they look a lot like him. And then the remaining 20% is like black and tan coonhound, the ears.
Makes sense. That kind of adds up, yeah.
Yep. And so that's what he is, but he is like the biggest pussy in the world, and he has to go out and piss and shit. Is that why you're being the weasel? Oh, yeah, his little ears are like rounded now. He's got a piss.
You mean his bat wings?
Yeah, but he's like manipulating me right now. He's trying to be like, look at me. Yeah, see this? Well, mine.
Cody.
I see his head.
Yeah, so I own a half Doberman right now, and I got bit through the ass when I was a kid. So
you drew blood.
Oh yeah, that thing fucking like that thing got put down because it was that bad.
Really aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, when I say a bit through my ass cheek, it was all four of the fucking main teeth went through my ass cheek when it went down. And that hurt. My right one.
Ooh,
that hurt so fucking bad.
Good butt cheek too. Come on now.
Yeah,
right.
Your right hand dominant. That's the good one.
Yeah. That's cute. That's very cute. That hurt so fucking bad. Like, people are like, "Yeah, I got bit by a dog." I'm like, "Well, have you?"
I've never been like bit by a dog. But...
Oh God, does that hurt? It was like.
Yeah, I had a dog kind of like, they playfully will nod.
Like playful.
Yeah, like play biting. Yeah, and that hurts too. But it's like when they actually bite you, it's like that's why. If I was ever like losing my shit and the police said, "We're gonna spray you with OC," pepper spray, I'd be like, "I'll just run away from you, fuckers. We're gonna release the dog." I'd be like, "We're done. We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
All right, we're done.
We're done. This is over with.
No dog. No dog. No dog."
Yeah, those things can be vicious, man.
Well, it's just the way the teeth. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, that hurts so goddamn bad. But and I also wasn't expecting it either. I was like,
catches you off guard, which makes it even worse because you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, and then when we were in Iraq, like we actually got to work with the Air Force dog handlers, and they had like different specialties like drug dogs, bomb dogs, shit like that, and most of them were bomb dogs. And then they were like, well, yeah, if you ever want to come and put on the red man suit and come out and like train them, it'd be cool to have different people training them than us and everything. And we're like, okay, fine. So you go out there and put on the fat man suit. These videos got lost in the fucking hard drive that I have, which is fun. Hopefully someday I can recover it. So these things were the Belgian
Malinois.
Yes, exactly. And these fucking dogs, like we pet them. We'd be like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" I knew this dog, and we put on the red man suit, and the scenario was like, he goes, "Yeah, just like kind of look at me and then turn around and run the other way." And I'm like, "You mean like run?" He goes, "Yeah, like run the other way." And I'm like, "Well, shit, I can cover a lot of ground. I can sprint." And so I did that, and I was running, and this video that I fucking had showed. He goes, "Get him!" And he releases him. I'm probably about 30 yards away from this dog, and it was on me.
Oh.
3 bounds and it's there.
It was there, and I'm like, God, and it hit me. And then he's like, struggle with it, and I'm like, thrashing. But you've got a 120-pound fucking dog, or it was probably like 110 pounds. But still, it's like this fucking dog is ripped. This thing is like a fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger of dogs, and I'm like doing this, and he's biting on my back, so it's like I had the suit on, it didn't hurt or anything, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then so we did another one where it was like the arm, where he bites the arm, and they put on another glove on top of the red man suit, and they're like, "You're probably gonna need this," and I'm like, okay. so the dog was hanging off of my arm, and he's like, all right, throttle the dog, like fuck with the dog, like, you know, get him off of you, try to get him off of you. This dog's, the jaw pressure through like 4 layers of really thick shit was actually uncomfortable on my on my wrist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy fuck. And I started spinning around, and I had this dog like parallel to the ground. And this thing, he just bit harder and harder. And as he was biting harder, he was whining. He was whining harder, and he was just like, and I remember the face, and I'm like, oh my God, if this is my actual arm, my arm would be gone. Like, it's fucked.
Yeah,
you're done.
Fucked, dude. Jesus.
And it was funny that he's like, okay, calls him off. What?
Do you think, like, with enough, like, strong pressure, he could have, like, without the suit, like, you could have just broken someone's arm doing that?
I don't know about broken, but tearing flesh, absolutely.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm talking tearing ligaments, everything that's not bone would be moving. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
It was
shrapnel from it.
It was ridiculous how strong those dogs. And again, I'm a big guy, and I was having this dog. I had him going horizontal, spinning around as fast as I could. I was getting dizzy. Yeah. And this fucking dog was parallel to the ground, spinning and just biting harder. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, oh, you know, so I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fun. But no, it was cool. We did a bunch of training with the dog. We had a bunch of guys that went their different body sizes and everything, different speeds.
Yeah.
And it's good training for the dog. And the handlers were like super good, and it went all well. But it was just like, holy fuck, I would not want to get bit ever.
I don't think yeah.
And those things, like, you get guys that are on drugs and shit, and they're trying to, you know, fuck with people and like just do stupid thing. Like, we're gonna get the dog on you. Bring the dog. It's like, no, you've crossed the line where you're not gonna come back from that, man. Yeah. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, you're done. If you say bring the dog on, and they do, and then, because I've seen a lot of videos where guys are just spazzing the fuck out, and they say that, and then they get bit, and they're like, ah, and they're like drug induced. Can't feel pain. They're like, oh, get him off. And it's like, yeah. Well, we told you.
Yeah, I'd prefer the taser, honestly.
I've seen so many of those videos too, where the guys are like, fine, bring the dog. You just see the cop open the door because they're in like a back room, and the dog just runs into the house, and it's real quiet for like 30 seconds, and then it's just like
screaming,
blood curdling screams.
Yep, it's not good. Like, oh my God, yeah, if you, yeah, yeah, I would not want to ever get bit by a dog in general.
Yeah,
and I would not want to be struggling and on drugs and get bit by a dog. So yeah, if they said OC, I'd be like, well, I've taken that twice, bitch. Yep. Taser, never experienced that. I've carried one, but I've never actually gotten hit by one because I'm not a glutton for pain.
Right.
AKA a pussy. Yeah, I'm a pussy. I don't want to volunteer for unnecessary pain. But dog, if, like I was just telling you, it's like if they say, okay, the dog's coming out. Nope, we're done. Hey. All right, what do I have to do? That's it. Yeah. No, the dog stays where it is.
Just throw the handcuffs inside. I'll lay down.
Yep, I'll whatever you want to do.
Oh,
but
God.
Yeah, it's fucking dog bites are. Oh,
I don't think any kind of bite's a good bite.
No, getting bit, like even like Remington's a fun, right?
Yeah.
If I'm fucking with him and he bites me, it's like, God damn it! Like, ow. Well, I've got scars all over my fucking hands because I fuck with them.
They're also like just sharp. Like, people don't think they're sharp, but they're really fucking sharp.
They're razor sharp, and like they're skinny too, and like the way they bite is they're
like fish hooks almost. They're like knives. They're so small and sharp.
Yeah, fucking with cats is a real game. That's why I like doing it. It's fun.
Yeah,
like, it's like a fucking, well, am I gonna have to go to the hospital today? Is he gonna get the fucking the vein that goes, or the artery that goes through my wrist? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But no, animals, just don't fuck with the wildlife. That was the advice we were always given in the military. Don't fuck with the wildlife. Perfect.
Good.
I mean, some of those goats are pretty appealing though.
Well, they didn't say don't fuck the wildlife. They said don't fuck with
the
wildlife.
Okay, fair.
So you can fuck all you want.
Right. Right. And it's okay. It's,
just not fuck with.
As
I'm
long
joking.
as long as the animal gives consent, it's okay then, right?
Sure. There
All
we
right.
go. There we go.
Whatever makes you feel better, I guess, right?
Good cover up. Yep.
I was
Jeez.
so proud of Louisiana because in 2018 they banned having sex with animals.
That's
They finally made it illegal. I was like, way to go, America. You're making a step in the right direction.
Why do they need to make something like that illegal? People should just know not to do that.
Because apparently a lot of people were doing it.
I guess that's a naive thing to say, but I've never.
Yeah. Louisiana also, Michael, did you know this? That Louisiana actually is the only state in the union that has the French system as their court system, legal system, where in the rest of the country you're innocent until proven guilty, right?
No, I did not know that.
Louisiana, you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
Okay.
And so you're presumed guilty immediately.
Yep.
Huh.
And yeah, it's the only state in the union that has that legal system set up, which is
they're also one of the few states that has never gotten rid of death by firing squad.
Jesus. Well, I never ever planned to go to fucking Louisiana anyway. So,
cool. Dude, it's a pretty cool state. Yeah.
Louisiana is actually a really fucking cool state.
Okay. Well, the season 1 of True Detective kind of made me never want to go.
Oh, come on now. But, okay, well, I want to counter your point there, Michael, with Mardi Gras. Bam.
What about Mardi Gras?
It's a thing to do.
Yeah, but isn't that just basically like getting wasted or something?
No, you don't have to.
Oh, okay. I've never experienced Mardi Gras because I'm not.
It's like a huge party. That's all it is.
Don't go there during Mardi Gras. Go during the off season and go to the French Quarter and go, holy shit, these are some of the oldest buildings in the U.S. and
in the United States, yeah.
They've withstood so many floods, so much chaos, and it's literally the above ground cemeteries are really cool. The French Quarter is some of the best food you'll ever have
in your entire life.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's cheap. It's fucking cheap for really good food, super good food. The atmosphere there is. Again, it's not Mardi Gras. It's not what you see like on Girls Gone Wild and shit. It's like you go there. Everybody's really nice. Like everybody, all the shop owners and just this vibe. Everybody's walking there. They're really nice. It's very cool, but it's also very eerie. The whole but it's so cool. Like
it's like
New
a land time
is really
forgotten
cool.
vibe.
And then you go up a little bit north of New Orleans, and yeah, you're in the fucking deep south at that point.
You're in the bayou.
And Yep. And yeah, a lot of the people you can't understand because they got the weird accent, but they're all really nice. Like it's Creole, Cajun, Southern American. It's just weird, but they'll understand you. But and they're also really nice too. Like if you stop at a gas station or some shit, they're gonna be helping you and everything, and you're good to go. But yeah, it's a very different kind of vibe. Just don't fuck up to that. Just don't kill anybody, and you'll pretty much be okay.
And also be prepared because it's going to be hotter and wetter than Satan's taint.
Yeah, it's not good. That Mississippi,
yeah,
in Alabama, in the summer.
You basically have to swim through the air.
You could cut it with a fucking butter knife.
It hurts to breathe. It's like work to breathe.
Yeah, it's very labored. It's like 80 to 90% humidity all the fucking time.
Yeah, I'm a northern guy, dude. I fucking hate the tropics and everything. Oh god.
As he's styling his hair.
Shut up.
I don't like it. I get frizz in my hair. My hair gets curly when I go down to a humid environment. Hey. Hold on, I gotta.
Burn the house down. Gotta burn the house down.
Stop him from making fun of me.
What?
Karma, Mike.
Stop fucking with cats.
Oh, it's Cody. He's touching the kitties.
Stop fucking with cats. You won't get hurt.
Like I'm talking to my children.
Go lay down. Go lay down.
All of a sudden, when you see the dog tackle him out of frame.
Dog, Cody won't do that. Cody's such a pushover. He's so afraid and jumpy of everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like Remington tougher than he is.
Oh, god damn. Did you guys hear that yelp?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the dog. One of the cats nailed him. He's not bleeding, but go lay down.
Teach him. That'll teach him.
Stop fucking with the cats. How about that? There's 3 of them and 1 of you. You're not gonna win. Lay down.
Good old Cody.
Yeah, low country boil with crawfish, fucking corn, sausage, andouille sausage, sometimes shrimp. They'll mix it in there. It's fucking so good.
But yeah, I've never been to the I've always stayed on the west part of the United States. I've never gone to the south or the east coast or anything.
Southeast
like that.
is fun.
Really?
Except for Florida.
It's well, fuck you. But if you know where to go in Florida, it's not terrible.
Yeah, if you know to go to the 2 places in Florida that are tolerable, yeah.
Right, but no, the Southeast, I will say, from everywhere I've been in the U.S., has the best goddamn food in the fucking. It's contender for the world though. If you were to take southeastern food and pit it up against the rest of the world and all their cuisine, it can actually hold a fucking candle.
Okay.
The rest of American food is kind of okay, it's a culmination of different cultures and shit.
Are you saying the McGangbang is not a masterpiece of culinary perfection? It's
not bad, but it's also not good.
No.
I mean, it's that. Did you actually get the shits from that?
No.
Yeah. Usually, yeah, I didn't either back in the day. But yeah, it's still. I mean, it's let's be honest, it's cheap fucking processed shitty food.
It's classic, mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, but so if you want actual good barbecue, yeah, Austin, Texas, we do brisket and shit. Whatever. Go to the Southeast.
Horrible.
What?
Texas is horrible.
Yeah, Texas as a whole. I've been there several times. It's okay, but it's not like all the Texans. Oh, Texas is the best thing in the world. It's well, no, it's really not.
It's like their motto. Everyone thinks it's "Don't mess with Texas." It's actually friendship, and somebody apparently dropped that ball.
Right, and I think the Cuddy Codes has to go out and go potty. Hold on.
Okay.
You guys can talk, but anyway, before I leave you for a little bit, I'm not done yet, but the Southeast. If you want honest to fucking God barbecue, you go to some place out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere in the Southeast
and get murdered.
Well, you won't, Devin. Jesus Christ, it's so bad. You're so fucking inexperienced with your Canadian bullshit. You've been to Florida. You've been to Georgia. So you've been to Georgia. You know that the best places are the rural places where everybody's.
Yes, you got to get off the beaten path for sure.
North Carolina, been there. It's good barbecue. Georgia's really good barbecue. South Carolina's good barbecue. Florida, if you know where to go, is good barbecue. You have to go way off the beaten path and go to some place that you're like, God, I pity the poor fucker who lives there. Oh, that's a business. Oh, it's a restaurant. Oh, and then you go, we're eating there. Because and then they've got a constant smoker going in the back, and you're like, oh, this is going to be fucking amazing. And you go there and you eat, the best fucking barbecue in the world, I would say. And it's not that expensive. You can literally get everything you want. You can get gator bite. Well, that's in Florida rather. Georgia and South Carolina don't really have that, but you can get a lot of different things pulled pork, brisket, fucking ribs, short ribs, baby back ribs, and all that stuff. And you can just get as much as you want. And it's per person, if you split it up, it's $20 a person for everything. The sides included with coleslaw, baked beans, fucking collard greens, corn on the cob. Just all this stuff is just there. And it's $20 a person. And it's holy shit, this is so good. Oh, can we get to-go boxes? Of course. You want some more sweet tea? And sweet tea is, if you like coffee, my friend, you will find an addiction. You'll also become fat off of sweet tea, which is fun. You can see a fat version of Michael Akkerman if you go down there, because here's the thing with sweet tea. Last time I was down there, I brought the girlfriend down there, and she'd never been down in the Southeast for any extended period of time. The first stop we hit is Waffle House, right? Which is fun. Waffle House is, oh Christ! And it's like if you're there during the day, it's fine because there's like nobody there. But at night, if you go to a Waffle House and there aren't police lights in the parking lot, and there's a fight going on, you're not at a good Waffle House. It's not popular. It's probably not good, so don't go there. But if you pull into the parking lot and there's a cruiser sitting out there, a squad car with the lights going, and you can see a fight going on in the Waffle House that night, you're like, okay, this is a good one.
That's a good Waffle House, yeah.
Yeah, let's go here. And anyway, you go there. But anyway, so I brought her to Waffle House during the day, and I went to go pay, and I was like, how much is a refill of sweet tea? And the waitress looks at me, or not, well, the waitress / cashier, she goes, I'm like, how much is a refill? Like, you know, I'd like to get a refill to go. Like, how much is it? She goes, oh my God, who's been charging you for refills? And I'm like, and then at that moment, I'm like, all right, I haven't been in the South in a while. I forgot, my bad. Can I get a refill? Thank you. And because like, yeah, the sweet tea down there is like water. It's like you buy a sweet tea for like 50 cents. And it's a jumbo size sweet tea, and it's good. It's so good. And it's just never ending. And it's like, yeah, don't ever ask for, you know, to pay for a refill, because they'll be like, what the fuck? It's like up here, yeah, you pay for you want another Coke, you want another iced tea, yeah, it's going to be another $1. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, down there, they're like, what the fuck? And she's like, no, really? And I'm like, hey, trust me, I'm not from around here. I'm from Wisconsin. Like, you get charged for refills up there. She goes, you do? I'm like, yeah. We're fine. Like, I get it. Like, it's all good. And I mean, Waffle House is fantastic. I wish it was nationwide, but it's not.
Soon.
No. Go south in Mason-Dixon line. They're everywhere.
Fair.
But it's a
they just got to partner with Dollar General to put a little extension on every Dollar General.
No, McDonald's does not have sweet tea up here. No. Down south, yes, they do. If you ask for sweet tea,
has sweet tea.
It's not
not like actual sweet tea. No, but
it's gonna be like
sweet.
It's gonna be an iced tea with some sweet and low aspartame packets dumped into there, shake it a little bit, maybe if you're lucky.
Give them credit. It's corn syrup.
Oh, Michael's tapping the fuck out.
Yeah, it's Friday. For almost 4 hours, Mike.
Yeah, I know that. But
hey, it's a stream.
I mean, yeah, let's just go 4 hours. Yeah, I mean, we're already almost there. Oh, nice. The fucking shaved scalp. I like that. That's fucking ridiculous, Devin.
What?
That's fucking ridiculous.
It's the same haircut I've had for 10 years.
And it never gets better.
No, I don't want it to.
It literally looks like you have a toupee resting like fucking kind of cockeyed on your, like a Brody helmet toupee on your fucking scalp.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was going for.
You look like a bag of smashed assholes. Like, let's be honest here.
Totally fine.
Like, let's be honest here. It's not good. It's whatever you're doing is not good.
Totally fine.
I gotta remember that one. A bag of smashed assholes.
Oh, that's something. Oh man, that was so fucking funny. And another thing too was oh yeah, you got your shit together, great. You're gonna get eaten up faster than a dick sandwich at a gay pride festival. Like, I heard that and I was like, I'm done. I can't deal with this.
Oh my God,
so fucking insane. But yeah, oh no, apparently my hair is the Julius Caesar curls. Fro, like I was telling Devin, he's like, yo man, you got Julius Caesar curls, and I'm like, thanks. He goes, no, it's not a bad thing. I love it, man. He's got like
bald as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got the Jew fro, which is like he has to like keep maintaining it. And I'm like, just cut that fucking thing and just grow your hair normal. And then, well, yeah, there's Devin showing it off.
No, I was getting mad because people are lighting fireworks off outside. Again.
Oh, what the fuck are they doing now?
Petra lives here. Please be courteous. You got to put that sign out there.
No, it's just like, I don't have any problem with it, but it's like, it's almost fucking August.
Oh, and it's fucking almost 10, but 10 is the cutoff. That's where I start getting really pissed off.
Well, it's like, I understand if it's like the week before 4th of July and the week after 4th of July.
You're also in Minnesota, who bans most fireworks. So
I was gonna say, we don't even have good fireworks here, so the fact that it makes a noise that loud that I had to look.
Well, they got it from Wisconsin.
Probably.
There's the goal.
Now I'm gonna hear sirens because the cops are like, "That's not a sparkler."
Woo, 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 woo. You know, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to deal with that.
All right, I'm gonna let the weasel horse out. I'll be back in a bit.
All right.
Okay.
All right, don't shit yourself in here. Come on, let's go outside and go potty. Come on.
Do it in the hallway.
We should just leave the studio so when Mike comes back,
it's just him. Yeah.
Just live stream.
Awkward, like.
Yeah.
So.
Be like, what the fuck?
He'd be mad. He would legitimately. We would get messages, and he would be mad. He'd be like, "You guys made me look like an asshole." So,
well, you know, we had a good run, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's like, well, we have lives, Mike. Unfortunately. So
going out, getting late or something.
No, I don't. I just have to work.
Oh yeah, that's right. What do you do for a living?
I'm the vice president of a distribution company.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's all right. We own a bunch of different stuff, so I get a lot of free food. So.
Oh. Right on, right on.
Yeah, have you ever eaten like an Oreo cookie or
of course
goldfish crackers? I'm the reason they're double stuffed.
Okay, well, cool, man. That's awesome.
I mean, you say that, but
I don't know. Is it? If it isn't, then fucking quit.
It's there's a lot of good money in it, and it's a fairly easy job. And I like how you don't have to be in the same place every day.
Right.
That's kind of nice. So
that is cool. No, I'm fixed at a desk where I work, so
I couldn't do that. I like the fact that I get to walk around and be in a different place every day.
Yeah, that's one thing I like. I like the variety of stuff when it comes to certain jobs.
It's the perfect job, and it's pretty flexible hours. And I'm a morning person, so I like to get up at like 2 a.m. and get my whole day done by like noon.
That's pretty cool.
And then. I mean, it sucks when everyone, like, tonight, they're like, it's Friday night. You want to come out drinking? I'm like, it's like 7 p.m. That's my bedtime.
My mom is the same way. She works at a hospital, so she's like, she goes to bed at like 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
At night.
You get up and you go to work, but like you get done really early.
Yeah.
And it's so nice being done that early because you could still go do all the shit that you need to do.
Right. My first job that I had really was working for Frito-Lay, and
you know what it's all about. That's like the same thing, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go around to grocery stores and set up chips, like chip displays and such.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. type thing. And I wasn't like full time like you are, but like it'd be like a 3 to 4 hour thing, and then we'd get done at like 8 a.m.
Yeah, and then you go have breakfast and you do your day. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool about that.
So that's basically what I do. Yeah, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, we're talking about work.
Part's the people.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about work, that's fun.
Yeah, it turns out Mike did the same job I did.
Yeah.
Devin's done everything, so.
I
was just telling you how I used the first job I had was working for Frito-Lay, setting up chip displays at like 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning. And now I work in an office and I'm a graphic designer.
That's fun.
Do you at least have like one of those cool fancy like standing desks or like one of those weird exercise balls to sit on because it's better for you, I guess?
No, I don't. I just have a regular old spinny chair like the one I'm sitting in right now, and I work at a desk that's like from 1989 or something like that.
Oh, so no frills at all.
It's fucking wood top, and it's like fucking sheet metal. It's painted black. That's
perfect. No frills. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And when you move and your knee hits it, it goes dong.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You just got to put a bunch of stuff in there so it doesn't do that.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of stuff, unfortunately. I mostly have food stuffed in the drawers.
There you go. Bags of chips, just packed full.
Yeah. I got Pop-Tarts and stuff in there.
Yeah, that's what my desk has.
I once left a bowl of quinoa in there for like 3 weeks on accident, and I opened the drawer and it was like solidified, and I was like,
just rock hard. And,
it was, yeah. It was like, never doing that again. And then my other graphic designer, she's like, "What the fuck is that smell?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that."
It's my quinoa.
I didn't shower in the past 5 days. Just deal with it.
What's that, Mike?
I was gonna say, you should have told her, like, I haven't showered in the past 5 days. Just fucking deal with it.
Yeah, I said, it's my quinoa. It's finally ready.
It's fermented. I'm making kimchi. Get a kimchi.
Quinoa potpourri.
Oh God.
That's my boss. He chews, and he drinks a lot of Diet Coke, so he gets like those 1 liter Diet Coke bottles, and he'll use the same one as his spitter for like months.
Fucking gross, dude.
And so and then this was like the beginning of last summer. He was getting something out of like my warehouse, the one that my desk is in, and he left it on my desk for like 2 weeks. So I kept telling him, like, get rid of it.
Oh, that shit stinks.
Every day I would see it, and the bottle would be blown out slightly more. So one day when he was like sitting at his desk and like not paying attention and stuff, I went over there and I put it under his desk and I cracked the seal on it and just left it and like went out, and I was like, all right, see you tomorrow. And he was there for like 2 hours trying to figure out what the smell was and where it was coming from. And he's like, I had to like leave the room because I was getting almost sick being in there for a couple minutes at a time.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
He finally found it. Okay, finally. 2 months later, all right, in like August, the end of August.
2 months
under his
later.
desk. Yeah, just rotting away there. So
yeah, that's fun.
It's one of the worst smells ever. Like those
well, you know why it blows? It starts fermenting because of all the sugar in the tobacco and your spit, and it starts just fermenting, and it gets like this crust on the top, but it's still like permeate. Yeah, it's not good.
Stop talking about this.
It's one of the most like horrific smells I've ever seen.
Michael, do you want me to get you to throw up? You want to hear a cool story?
Okay. What is it?
So when I was in Iraq, no, I think I've told Devin this. I've told some other people this. So I was in Iraq. We get these liter bottles of water, right? And they all look the same. And I would mix like, grape juice or grape beverage into them and all that shit and whatever. And so it'd be dark, and then I'd also spit into them because they were perfect spitters. They were huge and like whatever. And then when they get a little bit full, I'd just throw them in the garbage, right? So one night I'm sitting next to my bed that I had that was up on cinder blocks so we could put shit underneath it. And I had my laptop on the bed, and I was talking to the chick I was dating at the time. And I had 2 bottles. I had the grape drank and my spitter. And I threw in a Chusky, and I'm sitting there and we're talking, and some things were going on her end, and I was kind of like looking, and I was like, oh, it's fun, everything cool. And I was not thinking, and I literally grabbed the spitter and just went into my mouth, like down to the back of my throat. The texture, I mean, and I went like this. I went like, it wasn't just the spit, it was the old tobacco,
the sludge and the fibers, and
and so I just went and coughed it everywhere, and then I tried to cap it, but I didn't do that, so I dropped it and it spilled all over the floor. And so then I went to the garbage can and I just went just fucking scream puking. Had to go to the bathroom.
Are you okay over there?
fucking god, dude.
Oh,
You gave me the heaves, man.
Shit. Well, at least you had a loud fucking heaver. I like that.
Ooh.
Jesus, dude. Oh god. I'm gonna fucking have a nightmare about that later on.
Finish the story. You scream puke all over into the garbage.
I walked into the bathroom and I was like heaving all fucking like for the next couple hours. Then my roommate's like, he walked into my room after I'd just gotten settled, and he goes, "Hey, I got some Kodiak. Do you want it?" Like because they actually had some at the PX. He's like, "I got some Kodiak. Do you want it?" Ken, I just went, "Ah!" And he's like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh God." He's like, "What the fuck is that smell in here?" I'm like, "What?" And then I explained it after I was done retching. So yeah.
I threw up all over the place and dumped my spitter around.
I didn't throw up on the floor. I actually made it into the garbage can and then had to clean that out. And there's no bag in it, of course.
Dude, like, I was going to go eat after this. I don't think I'm going to now.
You'll be fine.
Oh, come on.
You'll be fine. You'll be okay.
It'll make eating even better.
Well, I mean...
Just get stuff of, like, similar texture, like mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah. I'm glad, I mean...
Guess Mike B isn't working on Revlay anymore.
I just saw that. Thank God for garbage cans right here, dude.
I mean, it wasn't good. It was not one of the better points in my life.
That's a definition of not good.
That's fair. But remember, Michael, you did tell him to tell the story.
That's true. That's true.
So
I knew it was going to be funny.
This one's on you.
You knew it was going to be funny, but it was. I told you, I was like, "Do you want me to make you throw up?" Yeah. A lot of people say that to me. Well, no, it's
pretty bad, and it's worse when like somebody tells that story and you know that smell.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. That fucker had been sitting there for about 2 days, and I was working on it. You know?
In the heat, and
and so when it was.
They like expand, like it's alarming. Yeah. Like I told you, every day that bottle just sitting in a 100-degree warehouse, I watched it get bigger.
Oh, they puff up
and bigger.
This wasn't that bad. This wasn't like that bad. It was in what we had for AC, which was fucking. It was fun, but like. It was still just a couple days of, it shouldn't have been there.
Good old rotten tobacco juice.
Don't.
It's a bit tangier than you remember.
You know, I've never.
God.
You're gonna fucking.
I just had I had like a flashback of like the texture. That was what got me.
The little fibers that tickle your tongue. In the
it wasn't that
gravy juice that
it was that with the
crust.
Okay.
We're good.
I've cleansed my palate. All right.
Okay.
But yeah, that actually happened, and that was not fun, and that was I've
never got my equivalent to that. Is that when, as someone who does painting and stuff like that, you have a jar full of water that has your paintbrushes in it with fucking paint water inside, and this is a common thing, and you have that next to your beverage when you're working, and I've actually picked that up and drank the paint water before. So
that's a lot better than
that's a lot better than that fucking human chew gravy.
Exactly, yeah. The paint water actually didn't make me throw up because. Immediately when I started to drink the brushes that were in it hit me in the face and I realized what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, I just spit it out. I didn't throw up.
The brushes in my case were the fucking multiple strands of fucking tobacco that was rotten going into my mouth.
Oh God.
To the back of my throat. It wasn't like I was taking a sip either. It was like I was doing the whole like I thought I was drinking, grape drink. And I just opened it up as I was looking at the screen and I just it was fun.
We gotta put this in the movie now.
Somebody drinking a spitter?
No, you can't put that in this movie. But like an eventual movie, yeah.
I said in a movie, yeah, in another.
Movie. Okay. I like I said this movie, yeah. No. A movie, yeah. It's actually not that uncommon. Oh God,
The story of Mike B.
I have a worse one.
Yeah.
I won't tell it tonight because you're already kind of on the edge.
Thank you.
The worst one was what my dad did with one of my spitters.
Oh, I don't want to know.
But he was a trooper, though.
Okay. Well,
I'll tell you that some other time. Yep.
Tell me that one next time. But I think this is actually a good capper for this.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, your face isn't as red. You're not as sweaty. I like that. So.
Fair. Yeah, and you got to go work up some appetite to eat some food now.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. It's not going to be at all as bad of a texture as that was. So.
All right, guys. This has been really fun, though.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to make it to 4 hours. You couldn't because of reasons. Because.
Oh, I'm leaving when Michael's leaving.
Oh.
That's between you two. So,
no, I'm actually gonna probably be done here soon too. It's like a.
All right, well,
it's almost 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm signing off now, gents.
I'm gonna make some scallops, motherfuckers.
I'm gonna have a smoke and go to bed.
All right, gents.
Later.
Later.
Look at that. Bam.